Live from the Kibbe Dome in Moscow, Idaho, it's the Vandals of the University of Idaho hosting the Broncos of Boise State University. Good evening, I'm Ted Dawson.
And I'm Larry Pulowski.
Tonight, a game that would seem to be totally overmatched. The Broncos, of course, scored 62 games in their opener against Idaho State. Meanwhile, the Vandals have not scored a touchdown this year. As a matter of fact, they are the only Division I school in the country that hasn't scored a touchdown.
That's really an amazing stat, and I know the offensive coaches for Idaho are just aghast. They can't believe that this high-flying offense has not scored a touchdown. They will address that this evening.
Well, one person that you're going to be addressing a lot is number 3, David Michael, one of the outstanding running backs that you'll see in this ball game. Had 99 yards in the opener against Idaho State.
Yeah, David Michael in the preseason thought people were questioning his courage, questioning his ability to come back from an injury, but I think he answered a lot of those questions last Saturday night.
2 touchdowns against Idaho State. There were also lots of questions about this guy, a freshman, Corey Hall.
Corey Hall is this guy's got his motor running all the time. He plays 100% all the time. Great closing speed, and he is strong for 225 pounds.
And just a freshman, what an opening game he had. Meanwhile, as far as the University of Idaho is concerned, I hope you get a good look at this guy because you may not see him around very long.
Well, Michael Harrington got to start the show over Brian Lindgren, and Brian Lindgren may get some time tonight, but Michael Harrington must have a quick start. He must get this offense going because it has sputtered.
Harrington, of course, is the younger brother of Joey Harrington, the former Oregon star who's now with Detroit. As far as defense goes, though, no question about this guy. Middle linebacker Patrick Leiby.
Patrick Leiby is the rock in the middle of this defense for the Idaho Vandals, a very strong middle linebacker. He's an anchor for these guys, a 3-year starter at middle linebacker, so he's an integral part of this defense.
Well, speaking of integral parts, we have an integral part of our broadcast team. Let's go down on the field now for another former Boise State football star, the caveman, Jeff Caves.
Brian Dinwiddie did his best to get his teammates fired up. Some say he got Idaho excited. We'll see what happens in the locker room. We have exclusive access. When we come back out of it, I'll tell you what Jeff Pittman, the Boise State strength coach, had to say to the team before the kickoff. Ted?
Thanks, Jeff. Of course, Jeff is talking about some comments that Dinwiddie made in the paper earlier this week.
Well, comments from a senior quarterback that's very confident, so we'll see if it works in his favor or against him.
All right, what are the keys to the game?
Well, Ted, let's take a look at our overhead door keys to the game. First of all, pass protection is key again tonight. They must protect Ryan Dinwiddie, and he's got to make good decisions when he throws the ball. Second of all, this defensive line is so thin. They have got to stay healthy and stay on the field, or this front will have trouble tonight with a big offensive line from Idaho.
Huge offensive line, over 300 pounds.
Massive. They got to stay healthy. And the special teams must perform like they did last week against Idaho State. They were dominating in every aspect of the special teams.
I don't think I've ever seen a more dominant special teams performance.
It was a tremendous effort, and I think they'll continue.
Well, we'll find out. Stay with us. We'll be back. It's Idaho hosting Boise State right after this. Welcome back to the Kibbe Dome in Moscow, Idaho. You see the Broncos coming onto the field, and big boos, Larry Pulowski. Big boos as they come on, which fires this team up.
Well, you've got to expect that as we look at the series history between these two teams. 17 wins for the Vandals and 14 for the Broncs. I happened to play in that one tie game.
It was the dedication to this building, right?
Absolutely, on October 11th of 1975, and there's our two coaches for this contest tonight.
Tom Cable played here. He was an offensive lineman, 6'3", 280-pound offensive lineman. He cannot be pleased about the way the offense has performed as we take you down on the field once again to Jeff Caves.
Oh, I told you earlier I was nervous. Now I'm all jacked up. Jeff Pittman, a former player at Boise State, 92-92. Now gave the pregame speech, talked a lot about the history of this place, the Dome, the fact that may be one edge Idaho has left. And he also talked about San Diego State. And Boise State doesn't want to become San Diego State, who lost here. And he's also talking about history and tradition, and they're very excited. Ted?
The Broncos actually lost the toss, but Idaho State has decided to take the ball in the second half. As David Michael goes back deep for the Broncos. Dan Hawkins likes to get the offense out on the field early.
Well, when you've got a prolific offense like he has, as you look at his stats, what an incredible winning percentage, starting his 3rd year now at the helm of the Broncos. But he likes to get this offense out because they score, and they score quickly. The last couple of years, the drives in most cases for this Boise State offense are short and sweet and to the point.
Brian Pope, number 15, a senior out of Colton, California, will kick off. He was actually, he did the place kicking until he missed one last week.
Yeah, he had a little trouble against Eastern Washington. It looks like Coach Gables replaced him with a redshirt freshman.
Donnie Heck is also back deep, along with David Michael. And this ball game is just about underway here. Just a partially filled Kibbie Dome, and Pope sticks his foot into it and drives it deep into the end zone and out of the end zone. The Broncos will have it 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Probably won't see a lot of kickoff returns in this dome tonight. We've got 2 kickers with very strong legs. There's Ryan Dinwiddie leading his offense out onto the field.
16 of 30 last week for 235 yards.
And that 1 TD and no interceptions, which is a trademark of Ryan Dinwiddie. He does not throw the ball up for grabs very often.
14 in his career, as a matter of fact. Lone setback is David Michael. 1st and 10 from the 20. Pitch goes to Michael. Turns it up and gets about 7 or 8 yards.
Take a look at our the starting lineups presented by your Stinker Stations. That's a great offensive line with the 2 tackles as the anchors, College and Colburn. The new guys, Ansel, McLeod, and Tutogi, doing a good job, but they need to just keep getting better.
Tim Gillian, who was injured last week, is back in the starting role.
Kind of surprised to see that. He was limping around practice all week.
2nd down and 2. Quick toss outside. Goes to Quentin Jones, and Jones breaks it upfield. He's at the 50. And finally run out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. Check that, that's Jerry Smith. Jerry Smith, 83, not 23, as we take a look at the starting defensive lineup for the Vandals. Tony Cross is a former decathlete from Ricks College, as a matter of fact. Patrick Leiby, their middle linebacker, who's the best of the bunch. And an excellent secondary led by Rod Bryant.
Boy, look at Jerry Smith as he gets this ball out on the flank. Good job by the receivers outside to give him a hole to run through. Nice job of blocking there for Jerry Smith. Picks up a big gainer down to the 35.
Michael again. Great blocking. Now Michael put it on the ground. Are they going to say it's a fumble? The ground caused that fumble. The referee right on the play. And he says the Broncos will maintain.
That ball came out when Michael hit the ground. Great job of getting up into the face of David Michael. Watch him as he cuts through. There's a hole there for just a second. Then as he breaks to the outside, it is gone. J.R. Ruffin there for the Vandal defense, doing a good job of taking his legs out.
2nd down and 8. Johnny Heck the setback this time. Dinwiddie forced out of the pocket. Still picks up 3 or 4 yards.
Got real close.
He's real close to a 1st down.
Going to be about a yard short, but a good effort by Ryan Dinwiddie. The pocket breaks down a little bit, but actually a coverage sack forces him to scramble out. Good job in the defensive backfield.
Patrick Leiby, the man, he finally runs it out.
He's got time there for a little bit, and then he flushes out. Takes it up the sideline. Still 1 yard short of a 1st down.
Leiby, number 40. 3rd down and a yard to go. And Dinwiddie will keep it inside. Good enough for the 1st down. Chad Poole, number 42, a high school freshman. The true freshman here from Las Vegas, Nevada, making the stop.
Ryan Dinwiddie, somewhat of a marked man, I believe, as far as the Vandal locker room would be concerned. Made some comments in the Idaho Statesman this week that Jeff Caves alluded to in the pregame show that were not exactly flattering towards the Vandals.
TJ Akers puts out wide to the left side. Smith wide to the right. To give to Michael. He's across the 20-yard line down to about the 18. Chris Nathan, number 19, out of Reedley, California, making the stop. Michael, last week, averaged 6.2 yards a carry as we watch a very, very good running back.
Determined run here by David Michael, but a nice job at the right side of that offensive line. Rusty Colburn, Tyrone Tutogi, and Mike McLeod doing a good job of opening up a hole over there for Michael to run through.
Heck and Michael both in the backfield this time. Quentin Jones. And flags fall. Apparently, I think the Broncos jumped offside. Well, you see lots of offensive sets on this team, don't you, Paul?
Yeah, you really do. Here's our call. False start. The Broncos running what they call the fly motion, where that wide receiver, this time Quentin Jones, motions back across the offense, but somebody up front jumped a little quick.
That'll make it second down and make it a long 8. Acree and McPherson go out wide to the left side.
Official wants the time put back on the clock because that play never actually took place.
He wants about 20 seconds put back on the clock.
So we set it to 12:26 and we'll be ready to go.
Woody, plenty of time. Now the pocket collapses. And down he goes. Kelly Talavu, the 6'2", 324-pound sophomore out of Fountain Valley, puts him down. Once again, has to be a coverage sack.
Got a little bit of time back there to throw it. He goes into about a 5 to 7 step drop. And when he gets there, he's got about 2 to 3 seconds to throw, and then the pocket collapses on him again. Very good job by this defensive backfield of Idaho right now to lock up these receivers downfield.
Third down and about 20 yards to go. Throws it across the middle. He's got a man open, the tight end. Lundeen is there for the first down. Brent Lundeen, he's the speedster, and what a great diving catch as he laid out to make the catch.
Yeah, Trent Lundeen really gave a superior effort, and you're going to see it from the end zone camera. Watch him lay out for this ball, keeps it up off the turf, gets his arms underneath the ball, makes sure he completes the reception. What an effort by Trent Lundeen.
Lundeen is from Dinwiddie's hometown of Elk Grove, California, transferred from Northern Arizona, majoring in construction management for the Broncos. First and 10, ball right at the 10-yard line. Michael gets about 4. Brian Howard, the big senior 2-year letterman out of Kent, Washington, 6'3", 287-pounder making the stop.
Interesting to see the Broncos, when they needed that big yardage, go to a tight end rather than the multiple wide receivers that they had out on that set.
And they've got 5 tight ends here.
They've got receivers coming out their ears. Wide outs, tight ends, backs out of the backfield. A lot of weapons that the Broncos can throw at you.
You realize 15 freshmen had stats in the Idaho State game? Pitch to Michael. And he is nailed as he tries to turn upfield by Brian Howard. Howard, who had 10 unassisted tackles coming into this game, has gotten 2 so far tonight.
We were watching Howard warm up in the pregame, and he was all fired up, as a lot of these Vandals were. Here's the toss to David Michael, and watch the impact when he gets to the line of scrimmage. Big hit.
Big third down play. Dinwiddie on the option, takes it outfield. Touchdown, Ryan Dinwiddie.
Ryan Dinwiddie loves that speed option, and he loves to keep the ball and turn it up. Again, the right side of the offensive line getting the job done out there tonight. Opened up a huge hole for him to get through. When you're that close to the goal line, to have that big of a hole, that was tremendous.
Tyrone Tatugi and Rusty Colburn just blasted a hole wide open for him. Tyler Jones to try the extra point out of the hold of Sanford. New snapper, Kevin Lausma, is snapping tonight because Dominguez was injured. The kick is good. And with 9:56 left to play in the first quarter, the score, Boise State 7, Idaho nothing. An 80-yard drive in 11 plays by the Broncos gives them a 7-0 lead here with 9:56 left to play in the first quarter. Tyler Jones set the kickoff as the offensive line looking at their coach. Yes, be sure to stay tuned at the end of our broadcast for the Idaho Lottery Lucky Play of the Game. We'll feature one of today's top plays sponsored by the Idaho Lottery, encouraging players everywhere to score big. Deep kick going out of the end zone. It'll be first and 10 at the 20-yard line. Once again, Paul, we talked last week, that that may be a mistake to kick that deep because this coverage is so good. Idaho State only got it out to the 20 after some of the second and third stringers were in.
There's a look at Michael Harrington, who has had trouble getting this offense going over the last couple weeks, but is a very capable quarterback, and obviously a guy that Tom Cable thought was good enough to replace Brian Lindgren, who was a preseason all-conference candidate.
Watch out for Shaw in the backfield. That's Jimmy Labita in motion. The pass goes complete to Wendell Octave, number 19. Octave, a redshirt freshman out of St. James, Louisiana. Gabe Franklin, the man making the stop after about 3 yards.
And here's our starting lineups presented by your stinker stations for the Vandals.
Look at the size of that offensive
Are
line.
those guys monsters? I mean,
4 guys over 300 pounds, and the veteran Jake Scott is the offensive captain.
And the skill guys, big receivers on the outside. Bobby Bernal Wood, a guy that's going to be a load to control.
Give us to Shaw. And Shaw is very close to a first down if they don't give it to him on forward progress.
And again,
Julius Brown making the stop as we take a look at the defensive front four. Julius Roberts, a much improved defensive lineman along with Mike Williams. And Corey Hall, the fellow we talked about. Travis Berger has played extremely well. Andy Avalos, the leading tackler on this team.
And they list Chris Carr, the linebacker. He can do just about anything as you look at the rest of the defensive backfield with Nurse, Brown, and Franklin.
Third down and inches. Harrington puts Labita in motion. They give to Shaw. He's got the first down. Corey Hall right there to make the stop along with Wes Nurse. Well, that's more than Idaho State did last week, Paul.
Yeah, it took Idaho State a lot longer to get a first down, but this Idaho team, I feel, much better athletically and obviously much bigger up front. And Shaw just gets behind that big offensive line, and you see how he runs forward. He runs downhill, and he hits you hard.
That Wes Nurse hits you pretty hard, too. He came out strong from his safety position. Shaw goes in motion this time. Harrington to throw. Incomplete. And that's been one of the problems. Hit Octave, Wendell Octave, right in the hands. And he couldn't hold on. And this is one of the things Tom Cable talked about this week. It's just the passes have been there. The plays have been there. They're just not connected.
Yeah, they racked up quite a bit of yardage last week against Eastern Washington, but still couldn't get it in to the end zone. And you can't fault Michael Harrington for that pass. You hit right on the nose. It hit him right in the hands, and he dropped it.
Brad Allen and Cam Hall into the defensive backfield. 6 defensive backs in the game now. Harrington looking to throw. There's nobody out there trying to run it himself, and is run out of bounds for a sack by Cam Hall, and what a job he did last week. Hall, the sophomore out of Kennewick, Washington, had 4 tackles, 1 interception, and 1 tackle for a loss. An open field tackle that was one of the best I've ever seen.
Watch the closing speed by Cam Hall, and he just gets there and knocks Harrington way out of bounds, and they're going to lose a little bit of yardage on that play. That was a naked bootleg that the Vandals were trying to run. They do that play a lot. I saw it on film maybe 7 or 8 times in the 2 games they've played.
Third down and 13. They give right up the middle to Gerstner. Gerstner is not even close to the first down as Gabe Franklin makes the stop on Zach Gerstner, the 3-year letterman out of Canby, Oregon. 5'11", 207-pounder.
Wes Nurse getting it in, having a little problem there, getting in a spat with one of the Vandals. I'm not sure which one it was, but no flags were thrown. That'll bring up 4th and 3. Looks like maybe Cedric Thompson was the guy that Wes Nurse was having some troubles with. Not sure what happened on the bottom of that pile. Let's see if we can see it here.
Well, that's Carr getting into it.
And then Wes Nurse comes over and, hey, get out of here.
All right, Tim Gilligan backs. Deep. High, spiraling kick. Gilligan takes it at the 14. It's by Libby. And all the way out to the 31-yard line. Good return of about 12, 13 yards. Libby makes the stop, but not before he gives up 13 yards. The score, Boise State 7, Idaho nothing. Be sure to stay tuned at halftime for the Treasure Valley Dodge Dealers Halftime Report. We'll have all the scores and highlights of today's college action, and there have been some big upsets. It's the Dodge Halftime Report coming up in just a few minutes. But not before we see how the Broncos do on their second offensive series. They went 80 yards in 11 plays the first time around. David Michael gets the call, cuts upfield. He is hit hard, but not before he picks up about 8 yards.
Daryl Murphy with that hit in the backfield, but not until Michael picks up almost 9 yards. Jeff Caves, you're down there on the sidelines. What do you have for us?
Idaho defensive coordinator Barry Lamb said he wanted to take the emotionalism out of this game and have Idaho focus on themselves. Look at Chris Carr and Wes Nurse. They're letting emotions run high. Julius Brown said, let's win this game and get out of here and knock it off. And yes, Hawkins talked to both of them. Tim?
Thanks, Jeff. It's second down. Make it 2. Acree is in motion. Michael gets the call again, and flags fall.
Again, the left side of the offensive line looked like to me there was movement. MJ Ansel got a little antsy. Ansel got antsy.
Ansel from
Part of the
Beach,
snap.
California.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Ansel is a business econ major.
Wow.
He better learn that losses don't add up.
That's right. That's a negative yardage on this one.
The Broncos send in a different receiver package on every down.
Although there's a number of them that can play and play well, so they're going to use them, keep them fresh.
This time, Gilligan and McPherson are the 2 wideouts. I formation this time. And Michael barely gets back to the line of scrimmage before Jeff Edwards, the 6'3", 263-pound sophomore out of Coeur d'Alene, makes the stop.
Well, the Vandals that time brought virtually everybody. They had an 8-man front. They blitzed off the corner with their safeties. They had linebackers coming. There was just nowhere to run.
Jerry Smith, Michael Onabakoon, Donnie Heck, all coming from the sideline. Lawrence Beatty splits out wide to the right side. Beatty and Smith are wide on the right. Third down and 6. Pass across the middle, right in the hands of Jerry Smith, but knocked away at the last minute by number 23, Daryl Murphy. Good defensive play by Murphy.
Dinwiddie had the ball in there pretty good, but Murphy was in his hip pocket, and Jerry Smith could not bring the ball in. Let's take a look at the isolation here on Dinwiddie and the throw to Smith, and watch the coverage. I mean, he is wrapped up. There is no way that ball can get through it.
But that was a perfect pass from Dinwiddie. It was just a great defensive play. Pulled out the 12-yard line. Thompson with the ball and is down at the 31-yard line. Brad Allen, the man making the stop. They wanted better punting from Kyle Stringer this week. He averaged 36.7 yards per kick. Last week, I think it was better that time, but the coverage wasn't as good as what we saw a week ago.
Well, he actually outkicked his coverage on that one, Ted. He kicked that so far down the field. Let's take a look at our dominoes. Last fact of the game. Our question tonight is, where's the WAC office located? Where's the headquarters of the Western Athletic Conference?
I know that one.
Brought to you by Domino's.
Harrington, three-stop, and once again, right in the hands of his receiver. That was Mike McCoy, and just couldn't hold on to the ball. Corey Hall was there.
Yeah, he wasn't going to go anywhere even if he had caught the ball. But Hall, again, as soon as the ball got there, Hall got there and made the impact.
Interesting fact about the WAC office, it's the only conference in the country whose office is not in a state that has
a member.
As a member.
Yeah, it's very unique.
Second and 10. Kelly Head, the tight end, goes in motion. Shaw picks up about 4 yards before Wes Nurse makes the stop. Alfred Shaw is averaging 4.6 yards a carry so far this year on 37 carries for 176 yards.
Well, this is a big third down play for the Vandals. Third and a long 5. They have not had a lot of success with their short passing game. Guys dropping balls, and halfway good coverage by the defensive backfield of the Broncos has kept them from being able to convert that third down.
Jeff Stowe splits out wide to the right side this time. Harrington on third and long. Here comes the blitz. Corey Hall throwing it across the middle, and Stowe holds on to the ball. Nice catch by Jeff Stowe. Julius Brown hit him. You just have to call that a good offensive play.
Yeah, nice little in route. Stowe cuts it off, gets in front of the defender, walls himself off from the defender, allows himself to catch the ball.
And Corey Hall got picked up on the blitz. It was just a very well conceived and executed play. Harrington to Shaw. Shaw tries to go over his right tackle, and there is nobody there.
Travis Berger down there at the bottom of that pile does a nice job stuffing the end of the line of scrimmage. Nobody can get around it.
There are about 300-pound guys out there trying to block Berger that time, and he knifes through all three of them to make the stop.
Yeah, Berger's a cagey little linebacker, looking to create the pile, and then he reaches up and grabs the legs. That's an excellent technique and excellent effort by Travis Berger.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball at the 47-yard line. Harrington, step drop, throwing it long to Stowe. Nobody's there except for Gabe Franklin.
A pump fake and go that time by Harrington is supposed to try to make Gabe Franklin fight on that, but it doesn't happen. Here's our answer to our Domino's Pizza whack back to the game. Okay, Ted, where is it?
Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado is the answer.
All right, Inglewood, Colorado. Okay.
Close enough. Close enough. Yeah, very interesting. No conference schools in Colorado for the WAC, yet that's where the office is located.
Third down and 10. Big third down play for both teams. Five-step drop this time. Complete to Orlando Winston. It's going to be very close to the first down.
Yeah, he's got it.
Gabe Franklin right there to make the quick stop. But Winston, a senior, two-year letterman out of Seattle, Washington, knew exactly where he had to go to get the first down. And for the first time tonight, the Vandals are in Bronco territory.
And on those last two passes, again, Harrington hits them right in the hands, and they catch these. And they pick up the big yardage. I mean, you had to figure this Vandal passing game was going to have to get better because it couldn't have gotten much worse.
Cedric Thompson brings a play in from the sideline. Wendell Octave splits out wide to the right side. Harrington gives to Shaw. Shaw tries to turn the corner. No way. And a flag goes down. Julius Brown runs him out along with Corey Hall.
And that was a late flag behind the play.
Holding?
It is holding against the Vandals. Watch this play get strung out all the way to the sidelines. Julius does a good job pushing it out. The defensive backs hold it up. Finally, Julius Brown pushes him out. But they're going to bring it back with a hold.
Holding. On the offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Cedric Thompson, the man who did a little shuck and grab there. Tom Cable says, now, doggone it, don't be doing that. First and 20 now as the ball is back inside Vandal territory. Thompson in motion. To give is to Zach Gerstner. Gerstner gets about 3 or 4 yards before Julius Brown makes another stop. Brown came into this game with a total of 5 tackles, and he's got a couple of more here this evening.
You'll see Zach Gerstner in there a lot. He'll get his carries, no doubt about it, but Manfred Shaw has been the guys that he's gotten a hard yardage.
Gerstner had 93 yards against Boise State last year. In a game that the Broncos won 38-21. One of their tougher games last year. Second down, call it 15. Harrington, quick cross, goes out to Jimmy Labita. And Labita picks about 6 or 7 yards. Chris Carr and Corey Hall making the stop. Another big third down play.
Dan Hawkins a little bit concerned about this offensive drive the Vandals are mounting. Good break to the ball by Corey Hall, an excellent job by Chris Carr to get the receiver to stop up. 3rd and 7.
Brad Allen and Cam Hall check in to the defensive backfield. Nathan throws it, intended for Bobby Bernal Wood, and once again, right in his hands.
Had an opportunity to catch it. That one might have been a little bit behind him. But again, good coverage out there on the corner.
Julius Brown right there.
And he's got to contend with the big receiver. See, the ball was just a little bit behind him.
Yeah, but you got to catch that pass.
Well, you would think Bernal Wood would. You and I might not be able to catch that pass.
6'2", 203-pound JC transfer.
And he's going up against Julius Brown, who's only 5'10", so there's a definite mismatch when those two are hooked up together. Get down there.
Little pooch punt. Gilligan calls for the fair catch, lets it go, and it goes into the end zone. Some boos from the Vandal fans. I don't know what they're booing about. It's only 7-0 with just a minute left to play here in the first quarter. So, as you take a look at Ryan Dinwiddie on the sideline, you see the score. Broncos lead it 7-0.
Hey, it's time now for some Lexus Bronco trivia. Who holds the single-season punt return mark at BSU? Well, that's kind of an interesting question. And
1st and 10 for the Broncos at the 20-yard line. Dinwiddie, plenty of time, throwing long. He's got Beatty open, and flags go down as Beatty was wide open, and Chris Nathan came right over his back.
Yeah, Nathan didn't look back for the ball. That's why he's going to get called for the flag. Dinwiddie laid that out there, too. Boy, he had that thing in the air for 50, 60 yards.
Beatty was headed by 3 steps.
As Beatty starts to slow down to catch the ball.
On the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
See the defender just kind of go over the top of him, gets that arm out, pushes him down, and they make the call.
Yeah, right. First down.
Dusty Colburn getting his animated.
And that all happened because of great blocking out front.
Plenty of time to throw that one.
1st and 10, ball at the 35-yard line. That's McPherson in motion. Dinwiddie again, plenty of time. Throwing incomplete, threw it over the head. Intended for Tim Gilligan, who was nursing a very big bruise all week, but decided he wanted to play it. Never missed a game.
Let's answer our Lexus Bronco trivia. Who holds the single-season punt return mark at Boise State? Your answer, Rick Woods, the Riverboat Gambler back in 1980, the year that the Broncos won the 1AA National Championship. 45 returns. Rick Woods, your answer to your Lexus Bronco trivia.
Second down at 10. Michael was hit by Ortega as he crosses the 40-yard line. And once again, Michael Onabakun is in a wrestling match with the defensive back. Chad Troxel makes the stop. Chad's little brother came to Boise last week to take on Bishop Kelly, and Bishop Kelly handled him pretty good.
A little delay with Michael. Nice cut back there to pick up almost 5 yards on the nose.
3rd down, 5 yards to go. That's Acree in motion. Dinwiddie. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage. The Vandals are saying it was a fumble. I don't see how you can call that a fumble.
Well, the officials are going to discuss whether his arm was coming forward and it was a forward pass or if it was a fumble.
Quarterback's arm was going forward. We have an incompleted pass. 4th down.
That's referee Walter Davenport getting booed here in the Kibbe Dome.
Ryan takes a 5-step drop, and yeah, he might have been trying to pull it back, but he still was definitely going forward.
Brian Howard, the man putting the pressure on. Kyle Stringer. The punt. Cedric Thompson back deep.
And that's going to end the quarter.
We have finished 1 quarter of play here in Moscow, Idaho, in the Kibbe Dome. The score, the Boise State Broncos 7, the University of Idaho Vandals nothing. We'll be back for more great Bronco action right after this. Kyle Stringer, who hit for 44 yards on his first punt, is back to try it again. 7 yards over his average of last week. going to be taken at the 20. Fumble. Ball loose. Chris Barrios is down there. They're still unpiling.
That's real ugly at the bottom of that pile right now. There's all kinds of unnatural things going on.
Broncos say yes. Julius Roberts says they got it. And look who comes up. Brad Allen, the star of the special teams a week ago. Donnie Heck down there.
Donnie does a good job of avoiding. He also got pushed in the back, which is a penalty. But he avoids the ball carrying with this new rule. You don't have to give a halo. All you have to do is allow him to catch the ball. And his own man ran into him. And then the scrum starts. And Brad Allen somehow comes up with the ball.
Brad Allen, the special teams player of the week a week ago. Dinwiddie gets new life. A 42-yard punt that time, by the way. Michael. Still running. 10. Touchdown, David Michael.
Boy, the speed of David Michael was just exhibited right there as he blows around that corner. What a great block by Darren College from the right tackle spot. College is out there making some things happen. I don't think actually it wasn't from the right tackle. He pulled from the left tackle around and made a great block, but the speed, unbelievable.
Tyler Jones tries to make it 14-0. Mike Sanford will hold. High snap, ball is down, the kick is up, and it is good. So a one-play electrical excitement for the Broncos. David Michael turning the corner and taking it in for the touchdown. With 14:41 left to play here in the half, the Broncos have jumped in front 14-0. They go back on defense when we come back, so stay with us. You see the score, 14-0 as the Broncos strike lightning on a 23-yard run by David Michael, who's got over 60 yards and 6 carries so far.
Yeah, that was just an excellent run around the corner. We couldn't get the number of the receiver, but there was a crackback block by whoever was out on the right receiving end that was just stunning.
One of about 9 guys.
I know, so maybe we'll figure out who that was, but a big orange or yellow football comes flying onto the field, and we're going to have to stop and redirect that.
As you take a look at Tyler Jones out there, Jones is a perfect 2 for 2 on field goals, a perfect 8 for 8 on extra points, and a perfect 20 for 20 extra points in his career. 9 carries now, 57 yards for Michael. Pass coming deep in the end zone, and it's going to stay there. Cedric Thompson wants no part of trying to bring that one out. He saw what the Broncos special teams did last week against Idaho State.
Let's take a look at our Washington Trust Bank first quarter stats.
Broncos with 40 rushing yards so far, 59 passing yards. That's pretty good distribution.
Yeah, and really pretty even time of possession. Vandals had a couple of decent drives, one very good drive.
And of course, one major turnover.
And both teams 3 of 5 in third down conversions, which is about where they need to be. 60% is kind of a passing grade.
Just like the turnovers in the second quarter, isn't it? Harrington throws complete to Jeff Stowe, and Stowe has run out of bounds at the 33-yard line as we take it down to the caveman on the sideline. Jeff.
Thanks, Ted. Retired Albertson CEO and current Albertsons, University of Idaho president. Making me nervous, Gary.
That's okay, Jeff.
Gary Michael here for his, first and last BSU Idaho game as president. Special feeling for you?
Well, it is. I've always been attached to the university, but now it's kind of like watching your own kids play, so I'm a little nervous. But it's fun, and I'm glad Boise State's here, and I'm glad the game's here this year.
Well, that's one subject of conversation is could this game or should this game ever become a Boise contest played down there to sort of maximize the revenue potential? I know that's important to both schools.
Yeah, I don't think it works out that way with the attendance requirements and how many games you have to play here. I don't think it fits into the schedule, but it's a great idea. I wouldn't mind doing it. I don't think it works though for us.
What about the timetable for replacing you? How involved are you in that, and where is that process at?
Well, I'm saying my prayers every night. This is actually a great job. I love what I'm doing, but they need a real president, and hopefully by January we'll have somebody on board, Jeff.
Thanks for coming aboard. Ted?
Second down and 12. Zach Gershner gets a couple of yards. before Andy Avalos makes the stop. Avalos has got another great game going.
Avalos 2 plays in a row there where when Jeff was talking to the president, he came across the line of scrimmage, made 1 tackle, then he made that one at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10 for the Vandals.
Broncos don't change their defensive schedule at all. Michael Harrington spreads his tight end Mike McCoy out wide to the right this time. Harrington throws it across the middle, right in and out of the hands of number 2, Cedric Thompson.
Boy, that hit him right in the helmet.
How many of those has he had?
Wes Nurse on the coverage, but this ball hits him right in the face mask. Here's from our end zone camera. Watch this one. It's going to go right off the gold dome, right off of his face mask. Unbelievable.
Harrington now is 5 for 9 for a total of 45 yards.
It should be 6 of 9 with that one.
Ryan Downs, who averages 40 yards a kick. Back deep. Gilligan, the lone return man. High spiraling kick. Gilligan takes it at the 16. Tries to go to his right. Now cuts up. And gets about 5 more yards than he should have gotten by rights. Jimmy Labita making the stop. There's 13 minutes exactly left to play in the first half. The Broncos lead it 14-0. Welcome back to the Kibbe Dome in Moscow, Idaho, where the University of Idaho trails Boise State by a score of 14-0.
Here's our Sinclair update scoreboard as you take a look at some of the scores today. Hawaii hung in there for a while, but USC got them.
Look what Michigan has done to Notre Dame.
Unbelievable.
Texas gets upset today.
Yeah, Houston Nutt and the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Over the tune in motion.
David Michael doing a nice job as Chad Kadama finally corrals him, but he got enough for the first down, so they're rolling the chains.
Kadama, 6'3", 234-pounder as Michael comes right at you.
Yeah, this is what the defensive backfield sees. Watch him turn up, and he just makes the decision now. Boom, he's gone. Get up there, pitch up another 5 yards.
Gets by Rod Bryant. Donnie Heck this time. And Heck has about 8 yards.
Right straight up the gut. That's just mano-a-mano by that offensive and defensive line.
Heck averaged 7.1 yards per carry last week against the Bengals of Idaho State as we watch it again.
Donnie's definitely not the same kind of runner as David Michael. Not nearly as fast, but he is fast. But he's strong inside, turns up, and when he goes north and south, he goes there in a hurry.
Mike Pinelli making the stop for the Vandals. Heck again. This time, he can't get by Brian Howard. Howard is a very good football player. 6'3", 287-pound senior. 2-year letterman out of Kent, Washington.
Watching Howard this week on film, he made a lot of plays against Washington State and a lot of plays against Eastern Washington. He is a guy that you really have to try to run away from because he'll make the play if you come his way.
Donnie Heck runs out of his shoe.
Howard ripped his shoe off. That's not nice.
Third down, 2 yards to go. Pitch goes to Michael. And Michael did not get the first down. Brian Howard there again, along with Patrick Libby. Just fired up Vandal team. They're playing well on defense, but they played well on defense all year. I mean,
they have.
They were mano-a-mano with Washington State, and once again, some mistakes made the difference.
Now, the defense is not the problem that the Vandals have had this year. Getting in the end zone has been the problem, and they still haven't gotten it.
Rod Bryant back deep. Donnie Heck barely makes it out on the field on time.
And that's a penalty because you have to report to the huddle. It's a substitution infraction.
And Bryant is hit immediately at about the 19-yard line. And now we have another flag down. Julius Roberts gets involved with somebody. As you take a look at number 7, Rod Bryant going off the field. Cam Hall also in on the stop, a 36-yard punt that time.
We'll have to sort out what all the laundry's for. There's a couple of different infractions on this play. One I know is a substitution infraction by Donnie Heck. He had to get his shoe back on, and he's on the punt team. So whoever's backing him up at that position was a little lackadaisical in getting onto the field.
Yeah, there's your illegal procedure. Patrick Leiby talks to the official about what else is going on down there. Alex Guerrero, number 99, out there in the middle of the field. Nate Oldham, number 69.
Here comes our call.
During the play, illegal formation on the offense. That has been accepted. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat the 4th down.
All right.
We have personal foul on the offense, and we have personal foul on the defense. They offset.
All right. That wasted a lot of time. But Dan Hawkins does not like penalties.
They had a lot last week, too. 100 yards of penalties. That was one of the sore spots under Dan Hawkins' saddle when he got done last Saturday night. He said that is just too much. Too many yards, too many penalties.
36-yard punt that time by Stringer. And they wanted to go over 40. Cedric Thompson back deep. Thompson will take this at the 16-yard line, and now Heck interfered. Donnie Heck did not allow him to make the catch. Well, that's going to be about 4 penalties in a row. A 44-yard punt that time.
Don't really have to.
That's the good news.
Don't have to analyze that one too much. Donnie Heck just ran down and ran into the guy, and that's about all there is to be said about that. I mean,
Kick catch interference on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the spot. Automatic first down.
The biggest play of the game.
He's one of the gunners on this punt team, and he's down there almost all the time, but you've really got to hold your water and make sure you don't run into that guy, because that penalty has gotten a lot bigger.
Jeff Caves is down on the sideline. Caveman?
Hey, Ted, this is starting to remind me a little bit of last year. 14-0 Boise State, and Boise State was running the ball well. Idaho came back and tied it up, and then at the half, it was 24-14 BSU. This is a critical possession for Idaho, and we'll see what happens with the quarterback situation if they don't get some points on the board. Ted?
Harrington, the quarterback, and, well, they'll start at 1st and 15 as Mike McCoy jumps off sides. He had Cliff Mason in motion. Mason's listed
Right at the
as
snap. Ball start.
Third
on the
string
offense. Still first down.
This has been an ugly little series with penalties galore.
Yeah. Alex Guerrero is checked in at a defensive end spot for the Broncos. Guerrero is a 6'1", 279-pound sophomore out of Brea, California, Brea Olinda High School.
I think Julius Roberts was one of the folks involved in that personal foul, so maybe Romeo Bandison, the D-line coach for Boise State, wants to chat with him a little bit.
1st and 15. The give is to Mason. And Mason may have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage.
The flag down at the 26-yard line.
Corey Hall making the stop. He just can't seem to get a playoff here.
Illegal formation on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Now, if this is a crucial series, the Vandals are pretty even some problems.
Pretty even Steven in the penalty category tonight, both the number and the yards.
Orlando Winston's put out wide to the right side. That's Kelly Meade in motion, and there they go again.
Bronco defensive front doing a lot of shifting around up there. That changes that offensive line call. So that's obviously put some confusion into the minds of the Vandal offense.
Prior to the snap, false start. On the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Jade Tadvik, 6'5", 320-pound redshirt freshman.
I think our referee said that with some sarcasm in his voice.
Like get it together.
Still first down.
Meade in motion again. Harrington throws to Meade, who's wide open. He beat Travis Berger to the outside and picked up about 10 yards.
Blown coverage by somebody. Meade was in a little bit of a shimmy motion across the formation. And as the play developed, he just got out on the flank all by himself. Berger came over to tackle him, but I'm not sure if he's Berger's guy or not. Seemed wide open in the flat. Travis is the nearest one to him, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was his guy.
Here's another guy that plays with such great intensity. Second down, about 9 yards to go. Mason is just ripped at the line of scrimmage. Just stood up there by Gabe Franklin.
Well, that's a heck of a hit by Gabe Franklin. I mean, he came flying into the formation and just took the legs out from under the running back. And now he's trying to redress himself because he kind of got undressed in this. Watch as he comes up.
Lampos misses the block, and Gabe Franklin just boom. And Travis Berger finishes him off. Third down and 9. Harrington throws complete to Bobby Bernal Wood, and now a flag goes down late.
You're going to get an interference call on Gabe Franklin, and he's not happy about it.
Bobby Bernal Wood, the biggest of the receivers at 6'2", 203 pounds. A JC transfer out of Butte County Junior College.
Here's the throw.
Pass interference on the defense. That's a spot foul, but it's an automatic first down.
Looked like pretty good timing to me. And he didn't catch the ball. I thought he had caught the ball. So from 1st and 20, the Vandals get a first down. Harrington, quick toss out to Wendell Octave. And Octave is run out of bounds by Julius Brown. Gain of about 9 yards, though. Well, Tom Cable said, we've got to throw the ball. We've got to be able to throw the ball, and they're throwing it effectively.
Julius Brown giving a lot of cushion out there to that wide receiver, allowing him to catch the ball, turn and run. And he actually got enough for the first down. They're moving the chains.
Second time they've been inside Bronco territory tonight. And Labita in motion. He gives to Zach Gerstner. Nothing. Travis Berger makes the unassisted tackle.
Then Berger got upfield, got underneath the pile, got a hold of some legs, and he happened to have the legs of the running back.
Berger didn't have an unassisted tackle last week. He had 2 assists out of Marshfield High School in Coos Bay, Oregon. Second down, 12 yards to go. Orlando Winston brings the play in from the sideline, along with Kelly Meade. Takes the give up the middle. Harrington throws long to his tight end. McCoy is there and has it at the 15-yard line. Andy Avalos and Julius Brown make the stop, but Mike McCoy just came right down the middle. McCoy, who had 4 catches for 41 yards coming into this ball game, is out of King City, California, and he's got the Vandals in great shape.
Well, and Harrington's been on the money tonight. Hits him right on stride. See Avalos' helmet pop off there at the end, but that takes the Vandals all the way down to the 17-yard line.
Obviously their deepest penetration of the night. Bobby Bernal Wood splits out wide to the left side. Harrington steps, throws, way overthrows Bobby Bernal Wood. Gabe Franklin there on the defense. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 17-yard line. We've got 7 minutes left to play here in the second quarter.
Well, we'll see what the red zone defense of the Broncos is like. They did not have to use it much last week against Idaho State, but they're going to be tested tonight because Michael Harrington's pretty much got the passing game back on track.
Harrington is 8 for 14 for 104 yards so far. Orlando Winston in motion. The give to Shaw. Shaw carries Boger across the 5-yard line for a first down to the 3. Julius Roberts and Paul Allen check into the defensive line.
Well, the Broncos had Andrew Browning in there at one of the defensive tackle positions. That's why they checked Paul Allen back into the game, but the offensive front of the Vandals just blew the D-line off the ball that time.
First and goal as the Vandals try to get back into this ball game. The give to Shaw. Shaw goes over his left tackle. Guerrero makes the stop. And Diabolos loses his helmet again. And Jordan Lampos shaking his fist out there. I don't know what he's so excited about. And Diabolos also helping out on the stop. Shaw. There's Guerrero making the stop. There goes the helmet.
Dane Oldham pretty much did that to his own guy. I'm not sure what happened to Avalos' helmet. There's a lot of hatless guys out there.
Lampos is all excited about hitting Andy Avalos late. Okay. 2nd and goal. Ball at the 2-yard line. And nothing. Shaw may have lost a yard.
Well, Avalos came up the middle and disrupted the play from the start.
Wes Nurse also there.
Saw Dane Oldham get up off that pile. There was a lot of guys in on that tackle.
Julius Roberts. Avalos the first guy. Wes Nurse.
Just really
Julius Roberts.
Messes it up back there. Makes him cut back when he didn't want to.
Big 3rd down play here. Ball at the 4-yard line. 3rd down and goal. The 33rd down conversions for the Vandals this year. Harrington rolls, throws incomplete. There was nobody there. And the Vandals, who have yet to score a touchdown this year, won't score one here.
Chris Carr on the coverage there of Levita, the wide receiver, did an excellent job of making Harrington throw that ball low, and he threw it so low nobody could catch it.
Mike Barrow, number 43, is the field goal kicker. He's a redshirt freshman out of Ventura, California.
I believe this is his first attempt, is it not?
Harrington will hold. The ball is down. The kick is up. And the Vandals won't be blanked. There's 5:04 left to play here in the first half. The score, Boise State 14, the University of Idaho 3. David Michael Donnie-Heck back deep. They didn't get much of a chance. They had one return chance last week. Michael takes it 1 yard deep. It's a block. And barely gets to the 20-yard line. And Quentin Jones that time had his helmet knocked off.
Time to tighten down those chin straps a little bit and get those helmets to stay on your head.
Chad Poole, the man making the stop. How close is that?
Remember the one Boise State touchdown, a 23-yard drive after a turnover on the kicking game. Gave the Broncos great field position.
Last drive for the Vandals, 11 plays, 64 yards, taking a little over 5 minutes. Michael to the 30, and hard charges all the way to the 37-yard line.
David Michael that time, he saw the hole and he decided just to go north as fast as he could possibly run.
Daryl Murphy and Chad Poole making the stop.
Huge gainer right up the middle of that formation.
Coming up in the second half, we'll name our Connecticut Water Systems Player of the Game. So stay tuned for another sparkling Bronco performance sponsored by Connecticut Quality Water Systems. If it worked once, let's see if it works again. Didn't work. Okay, it didn't. Brian Howard on the stop.
He's playing some inspired football down there. He is all fired up. Patrick Leiby down there also. We talked about Leiby before the game, and he hasn't been a huge impact. But this time there is nowhere to run in the middle of that defensive front. Looks like Clayton Adams is checked in at the center position, replacing Mike McLeod.
Dinwiddie, plenty of time. Throwing for Gilligan, incomplete, and he was well covered. Very well covered as we take you down to the caveman. Jeff.
You're seeing a new face at center for Boise State. Clayton Adams is in the game as Mike McLeod has a bruised left knee. He walked it off. He was examined by the doctors, and they think he'll be back in the contest. But Adams at 5'10", 290, a real spark plug in the middle, is getting his first action. Ted?
Thank you very much, Jeff. Third down, 9 yards to go. Bakery and Gilligan split out wide to the right. Tony McPherson wide to the left. Dinwiddie throwing to Lundeen, and he can't hold on. He wouldn't have had the first down as Leiby was right there, but Trent Lundeen should have caught that pass. Now the Vandal fans are getting into the game a little bit.
Only a three-man rush for the Vandals. They've got 8 people back in coverage, and the ball well behind Lundeen.
Lundeen is a better athlete than that. Cedric Thompson comes up, takes the ball, and down immediately. Right, just across the 30-yard line. Donnie Heck played it perfectly that time.
Yeah, all you have to do is give him enough room to catch the ball. It doesn't mean you can't be there and touch him right as soon as the ball gets there.
And only a 33-yard punt that time by Stringer, and that is way below what the Bronco coaches want. I want to remind you this broadcast is copyrighted by Boise State University, and all rights are reserved.
And a little Sinclair scoreboard action for you. Take a look at what's happened today in college football. Compliments of Sinclair Oil.
How about that for an upset? Louisiana Tech scored a couple of touchdowns in the last 2 minutes. Rice leading Duke. Harrington still trying to get the first touchdown of the year. To give it to Shaw. Shaw can't get outside. Cam Hall is there. Also Julius Brown coming up to make the stop after about a 3-yard gain.
A good rally to the football by the Bronco defense that time. The Vandals thought they might have had a little something going off the left tackle that time on a draw play or a delay play. Broncos react well.
Second down, call it 7. High formation this time. Harrington, plenty of time. Incomplete as Carr was right there to break up the pass to Bobby Bernal Wood.
2 plays in a row by Chris Carr. Excellent coverage on a big receiver. Remember, Carr only checks in at 5'9". Bernal Wood checks in at 6'2". It's a big disadvantage, but an excellent job of covering the man and attacking the ball once it gets there.
Just got his left hand in time. And now we've got timeout down on the field with 2:59 left to play here in the first half. Both teams go to their respective sidelines as you take a look at Chris Carr. Our Dodge halftime report's coming right up. Be sure to stay with us. 14-3 is our score with just under 3 minutes left to play. Out of the gun this time. Harrington throws it right down across the middle and into the hands of Jimmy Labita, but broken up nicely that time by Cam Hall.
Again, the coverage was there, but an excellent throw by Harrington. He has really looked sharp tonight. I mean, he's getting the ball in the vicinity of his receivers, and watch this one. I believe the receiver gets his hands on it, but Cam Hall comes in and knocks it away.
See if Gilligan gets a chance to return one. Ryan Downs averaging 40 yards a punt. And Gilligan calls for the fair catch, and that's 2 weeks in a row we've seen fair catches by him.
Yeah, that was wise that time. That kick drove him over to the sidelines. Not much you can do when you can only go one way on a punt return. You're going to have an X on your back. That was a wise choice by him to make that fair catch.
2:47 left to play, and the Broncos will have about 67 yards to try to make something happen. Ryan Dinwiddie 2 for 7 for 59 yards. Certainly not Ryan Dinwiddie numbers.
Plenty of time. Now he's forced out, throwing long, and just throws it away. Brian Howard putting some pressure on him.
Broncos have been running the ball fairly efficiently tonight, but the passing game has been a little bit on the lackluster side, especially in the second quarter. And Howard giving Dinwiddie some nightmares.
Second down and 10 yards to go. Tony McPherson puts out wide to the right. To Gilligan. Flags are down. And Gilligan is down. Rod Bryant making the stop as he crosses to about the 37-yard line. Holding against the Broncos. Rusty Colburn, the man. Oh, there's Rusty. He climbed on him and rode him to the ground.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Broncos giving the Vandal fans a chance to be part of this game. Showing a little enthusiasm here just before halftime with 2.5 minutes left to play, and their team down 14-3.
Certainly when they get in at halftime, Chris Peterson is not going to be very happy with what he's seen out of his offense for the most part. They've had some bright spots in the running game, but their passing game has really been fairly abysmal.
Bakery and Gilligan wide to the left side. Dinwiddie out of the gun. And down he goes. Brandon Kania making the stop. Kania out of Pasco, Washington, a 6'3", 241-pound junior.
That's going to bring up a third and huge.
Third and a bus ride. They've got to get to the 42-yard line. So it's third and 24.
Darren College is not beaten very often, but he was beaten on that pass rush.
Yeah, the Vandals are excited here. But we've talked before, their defense has played well all season.
Penalty, still third down.
Third and 29. Michael Onabakun comes into the ball game, along with Brent Lau. Dinwiddie's going to have to throw it as far as he can just to get to the first down mark.
You watch this last 2 minutes tick off. Compliments of the network group, transforming technology into a business tool.
Three-man rush. Michael. And Michael did a smart thing that time by staying in bounds, and then we've got another flag. And the Vandals are saying it's against Boise State. Back judge is the man making the call. That's Jesse Dupuy.
After the play, personal foul on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. It'll be 4th down. We have a timeout on the defense. That is their second timeout.
Dan Hawkins, you read his lips saying, come on, let's go. Let's at least get this in. The minute 21 left to play. Ryan Dinwiddie is not happy.
Well, the passing game has not been working very well, and in that series, they seem to force the pass at the start of that series. If you're running the ball well, I'm not sure why you would go away from it, just continue to pound it in there. But they've elected to go to the pass to try to get something going there, and it has not worked so far.
The Vandals fired up as we get ready to go into halftime, but still, they've got that monkey on their back. They have not scored a touchdown this year. The only college, Division I college football team in the country without a touchdown. Georgia with a big win over South Carolina. Pittsburgh, no problem. Sinclair bringing you the scoreboard. There's one of the big upsets of the day. UNLV and John Robinson getting a big win. Cal Stringer, the punt out of his own end zone. Will the Vandals come? They're coming. He gets it off. Thompson comes up to about the 43. And there's no place to go. Brad Allen looked like 3 guys there. He played great defense and just wouldn't allow him to do anything. Donnie Heck finally makes the stop. 33-yard punt that time.
Well, 1:10 left to go here in this second quarter. Bronco defense.
This will be the first time the Vandals have started in Bronco territory.
Yeah, they have not. They've not been off the field much in this second quarter. They've spent a lot of time out there on the green in their own territory.
Gershner's the setback. Harrington throwing intended for Matt Miller. Just flat overthrew him. Julius Brown was there.
Flag down at the 50.
Holding against the Vandals. Boy, has this game deteriorated.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Tom Cable talking with Wendell Octave on the sideline. He'll send in a play. He's got him in blue. He's got him in yellow.
So the Vandals are going to come out throwing, I believe, here. So watch these defensive backs for the Broncos pin their ears back.
6 penalties, 50 yards for the Vandals, 8 for Boise State. They dump it off to Gershner. And Gershner is run out of bounds by Chris Carr. Brad Allen also there.
They called him down inbound, so they're going to keep that clock running. And they're going to go to the hurry-up offense, the Vandal offense.
To Orlando Winston, and Winston has the first job at the first down at the 25-yard line. Chris Carr making the stop. Orlando Winston, who came into this game with 8 catches for 108 yards, picks up a big one there. And Harrington downs the ball with 34 seconds left to play here in the first half.
This Vandal passing game certainly doesn't resemble anything that they've had in the first 2 games. Harrington's starting to click, starting to hit his receivers. They're running pretty good routes. And the Boise State defensive backfield has yet to get close to an interception or a turnover of any variety.
Just a 3-man defensive front line. Harrington sets. Incomplete, intended for Bobby Bernal Wood. Julius Brown on the defense. Stops the clock with 29.3 seconds left to play.
Bronco defense getting their signals from the sidelines. Now there is a timeout for Idaho.
I want to remind you to stay tuned at the halftime for the Treasure Valley Dodge Dealers halftime report. We will have all the scores and highlights of today's college action. It's the Dodge halftime report coming up in just a few seconds. 29.3 as a matter of fact. Tom Cable says, guys, come on over here. Let's see if we can't figure this out.
And the Vandals take their final timeout. Boise State has all three of them. Probably will be irrelevant before this half plays out. But certainly the Vandals want to make sure they get a couple decent calls made so that they don't have to come back to the huddle. They can just do the play and move on. Let's go down on the field to Jeff Caves.
You know, Larry, you and I talked about this before the game. Dan Hawkins, a big guy for goal setting. Always wants his team thinking about what they can get accomplished, put it on paper, and commit to it. You would think that the University of Idaho would be a goal for Boise State this year. It's not. There's two teams Boise State wants to beat this year. It's Oregon State and it's BYU. We may have to talk to Hawkins about that at the half or post game, but right now you'd think, maybe it needs to go back on the list. Ted?
Right now, the Vandals of Idaho have more yards than Boise State. Can you believe that? Idaho with 172 yards, Boise State with 164 so far in total offense. Third down and 10. Harrington throwing it for the end zone. Nobody there. Orlando Winston was in the general vicinity.
Chris Carr was all over him. That ball just sailed over everybody's head into the end zone. So that'll bring up fourth down.
And Mike Barrow will try a long field goal. This will be a 49-yarder. Harrington will hold. Excuse me, a 44-yarder. Ball is down. The kick is up. It is off to the left. No good. So with 19.7 seconds left in the first half, the Broncos have held.
Well, they have dodged a couple of bullets. And, this has just got to eat on you if you're a Vandal fan and watching this offense continue to crank yardage down the field. They get yardage, and then boom, they just stall and stop. And it's happened now 2.5 games that they've played this year. Very frustrating for Vandal coaches, too, I'm sure. There's the boot. Started off a little bit left and never corrected itself.
So Tom Cable pulled his kicker after a miss last week. Let's see what happens now. Dinwiddie's not going to sit on it. He's throwing long from Michael Onabakun, but that pass way overthrown.
Well, Onabakun stopped on his route.
Yeah.
He started slowing down. He couldn't see the ball.
Jerry Smith was also in the vicinity. 12.8 seconds left to play now.
If you've never played in a dome, and especially this dome with the lights as they are in a row on the side of each side of the dome, you look back up into those lights, you're not going to see a ball. You've got to do this a couple of times. You can see there, that ball gets up in those lights, you're going to have a lot of problems.
Trent Lundeen coming into the lineup. TJ Acree, Tim Gilligan, and Tony McPherson. Dinwiddie throws to Lundeen. And Lundeen picks up about 9 yards.
But he didn't get the first down, so the clock's going to run out. Well, unless Boise State takes a timeout, which they do.
They do. With 1 second left to play, Brandon Mascoro on the defense.
See 1 second left there on the network group 2-minute clock.
So Robert Prince down there trying to design some kind of play for Ryan Dinwiddie.
Well, this is a catch and run kind of a play. If you can get about 30 or 40 yards through the air and see what you can do with the last 30 or 40. Lundeen with the reception doesn't get to the first down, so the clock does not stop. They have to burn the timeout, but they had plenty, so that's not really a huge issue.
Brandon Mascoro and Rod Bryant with a good open field tackle. Look at that. Would you believe that Idaho has twice as many passing yards as the Broncos?
That looks like Idaho-type numbers. I mean, this offense over the years has racked up big numbers through the air. Always been very prolific through the air, and I think these first 2 games have been an anomaly. But still, with all those yards and that big of an advantage, they're still down by 11.
1 second left to play. What do you do? Michael Onabacone in there. Lawrence Beatty.
Onabacone was behind his defensive back.
Yep. And so was Jerry Smith from the slot on the right side.
Roderick Bryant at the right cornerback spot, giving him about 20-yard cushion.
Dinwiddie just airing it out. Onabacone, no chance. Onabacone looks, I agree with you, he looks like he slows down.
He did twice.
That ends the first half of play here in Moscow, Idaho at the Kibbie Dome with the score. The Broncos of Boise State 14, the Vandals of the University of Idaho 3.
Well, I think there's going to be quite a discussion at halftime on the offensive side of the football about, hey, we have got to get back and establish the things that make us go.
She's excited about the Vandal play.
Well, she should be excited about the offense they've produced, but unfortunately they haven't been able, again, to get it in the end zone. And that has been the bugaboo all year long for this Idaho Vandal team.
We see Dan Hawkins coming over to Jeff Caves on the sideline. So let's go down to Jeff. Jeff?
Hawk, how do we describe a first half where Idaho gains more yards, they're losing on the scoreboard, and there's penalty flags everywhere?
You described it.
How does that happen? A fan sit there and says, Boise State usually doesn't have a lot of penalties this way. Are you just chalking it up to mental lapses of concentration for these kids?
Well, they're a lot better than people thought. I mean, we're not going to come out and shut people out 62-0 every week. So right now we're ahead 14-3, and they only got a field goal on the board. So in a normal game right now, we'd be pretty happy. Obviously, we got some issues in the penalties, and obviously we got some discontinuity things on offense. But you got a bunch of new guys in there, and we're still working those things out.
Ted, good luck to the second half.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Wow, it's about as succinct as you can make it, right?
Yeah, he's not real happy. He wants to go chat about this. Chat may be exaggeration.
We'll be back with more of our halftime report, so stay with us. The Broncos coming out of their locker room for the second half. They lead by 11, but it certainly hasn't been an inspired first half. Let's see what they get done in the second half. They'll start off on defense.
Yeah, this kickoff to the Vandal offense, they came out.
Is brought to you by Sinclair Oil.
You know, look at the first half that they had. They've got to feel pretty good about themselves. The Vandals came into this game a 20-point underdog. They really have played well in this first half, and they've got to be confident. Jeff Caves is down on the sideline. Jeff, how do you see it?
Well, Bo, other than Hawkins reminding me that Boise State wasn't outgained, it was 173-172. What he did tell the team is, look, they've hit one play over the middle. Defense has shut down Idaho's running game. They'll get it cranked back up offensively, eliminate some mistakes. It was the confidence and the reassurance and that we'll get this thing back going in the right direction. So these guys are calm and secure and just moving forward into the second half. Ted and Bo?
We'll see. Tyler Jones to kick off. What a job this kid has done. Local kid from Boise. And taken about 8 yards deep in the end zone. Cedric Thompson there makes the catch. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the Vandals of the University of Idaho.
One of the things that this Boise State team prides itself too on, Ted, is turnovers. And we have seen one tonight in the kicking game, but I know this defense is just really chomping at the bit to be able to get back out there and try to pick off one of these passes that Harrington's been throwing with fairly pinpoint accuracy.
Well, Harrington is still the quarterback. Bobby Bernal Wood splits out wide to the left side. 2 tight ends. Harrington, quick drop, throws it to his running back, and Shaw picks up about 4 yards before Corey Hall makes the stop.
Boy, Corey Hall just hit him immediately. That was the third receiver on that play. The wideout was covered, the tight end coming off the line of scrimmage was covered, and then they just had to dump it over the middle.
That's Shaw's 3rd reception of the year. He had 2 coming into this for a total of 6 yards, and he just got about 4 more. To carry this time, and Paul Allen wraps him up right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and still 6 yards to go.
You know, Jeff Caves made a comment about Coach Hawk saying they've been stuffing the running game, and they really have, and Shaw gets up a little limpy.
Paul Allen, another Boise kid out of Timberline High School, 6'2", 297-pound senior.
We talked about the defensive front in our Tom Scott Motor pregame show about how those guys have got to stay on the field. The number 1 guys have got to play, and they got to play tough.
Quick toss to Bobby Bernal Wood. He's got the first down. Gabe Franklin and Andy Avalos making the stop, but another Vandal first down.
And Gabe Franklin was almost there. He almost had that pick. And because he went for the pick, he got around the side of the defender and he was managed to slide off of him and pick up the first down. Let's see if you watch Gabe kind of come around him. Thought he was going for the pick for a second. Didn't quite make it.
Harrington rolls out this time. Throws it to Octave, and that's the third pass Octave has been hit right in the hand. Wendell Octave, a redshirt freshman out of St. James, Louisiana. They play good high school football. That's around the New Orleans area.
Yeah, we're going to get to make a trip to Ruston, Louisiana, but that is the third time he's dropped the ball. You know, Harrington's going to quit looking at him pretty quick, even if he is open.
He's listed as the second string wide receiver, but he's played a lot tonight. Matt Miller this time splits out wide to the right side. Gerstner in motion. Harrington plenty of time throwing it long to McCoy. And just flat overthrows it. That was the pass. They picked about 30 yards last time, and there is a flag down right at the line of scrimmage. Holding against the Vandals.
And it looks like the Broncos want to back him up at the second and 20.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Mike McCoy, for being 252 pounds, can move pretty good.
Well, and he's been open, too. He was 3 yards behind his defender.
Jade Tadvik with his second holding call of the evening. Tadvik, a redshirt freshman, 320 pounds, 6 foot 5 inches tall. Wow. But he's not the biggest. They got a guy, Hank Theron, 6'7", 322 pounds.
It's a lot of Vandal.
Second long. Harrington throws the screen to Gerstner. And Gerstner gets about 11 yards. Or it'll be third down and right around 10 yards to go. Travis Berger making the stop.
Vandals using the screen play that time to the right side of the formation.
Bobby Bernal Wood, number 84, is the guy bringing in the play from the sideline.
Really caught the Bronco defense in a little bit flat-footed.
Vandals 4 for 10 on third down conversions so far.
Harrington's trying to redirect traffic here. He's got guys on the wrong side of the formation.
Sets, throws, incomplete, intended from Matt Miller. And Miller had a step on Gabe Franklin, but that time it was Harrington's fault. And Miller hurt himself.
It looks like he jammed his wrist or his elbow when he hit that turf. This turf is very hard here in the Kibbe Dome. This stuff is not got a huge layer of padding. It's the kind of turf you can roll up and do other things in this facility, and it is not very nice to the body.
Ryan Downs, who averages about 40 yards a punt, will be kicking to Tim Gilligan. Gilligan hasn't been able to do anything so far yet tonight. Taking it to 23. 35. Crosses the 50. And run out of bounds at the 40-yard line. That's the Tim Gilligan we've come to know and love. A 44-yard punt by Ryan Downs. And Downs is the man who made the touchdown-saving tackle. 12-18 left to play in the third quarter. The score, Broncos 14-3. Be sure to stay tuned at the end of our broadcast for the Idaho Lottery Lucky Play of the Game. We'll feature one of the Broncos' top plays of the day, sponsored by the Idaho Lottery, encouraging players everywhere to score big. And certainly, Tim Gilligan scored big on that last punt. A 38-yard return by the senior out of Elko, Nevada, who is so quick and has such great heart. It's just fun to watch him play.
Yeah, it really is. And this is going to be a big offensive series here for the Broncos. They got a great return out of Gilligan, and now it's time to produce.
Andy Weldon went in motion, came over on the tight end on the right side. Fake to give up the middle. Dinwiddie throws complete, or did he skip it in?
Well, I thought that skipped in, but they're giving him the catch.
Gilligan picked it up. So 2 plays in a row for the senior tri-captain. Let's watch it again.
Little play fake in the backfield. And let's see if this ball, nope, he got it. Got his hands underneath the ball. It looked like it skipped in, but he did a nice job of getting under the ball between it and the turf.
Rod Bryant making the stop for the Vandals as they make wholesale changes in their defense. 1st and 10, ball at the 25-yard line. Quentin Jones. And nothing. There is nothing there.
Well, there's a classic example of inexperience by some of these receivers. This guy, Quentin Jones, is fast, and he thinks he can outrun the defense to the side, but he can't do it. And if he cuts the ball up the field, right now, instead of cutting outside, he gets yardage. This time, he gets nothing.
Boy, is he quick, though. Man making the stop for Idaho was number 8, J.R. Ruffin. 2nd down and 10. Quick toss to Michael. Michael cannot turn the corner. There making the stop is Mike Anderson, the sophomore from Lewiston, Idaho, 6'3", 237-pound linebacker who showed he was every bit as quick as Michael that time.
Here's some good sound. Check this out. It's not a game for the timid, is it?
No. 3rd down and 9. Michael is 7 yards deep in the Bronco backfield. Gets the call and has the first down. David Michael down at the 2-yard line.
Wow, how about that call on 3rd down? They set Michael deep in the backfield. They hand the ball off to him, and he runs it right up the gut for a huge gainer down to the 3-yard line.
Rod Bryant makes a touchdown-saving tackle for the Vandals of the University of Idaho.
Well, is there anybody that covers 20 yards faster than David Michael when he is going north and south? Look at how fast he gets through the line of scrimmage.
But look at the hole there.
That was a great hole. Excellent job at the offensive front.
Dinwiddie out of the I formation this time. Give it to David. Michael hit at the 2, fumbles the ball in the end zone, and Idaho has it. Andrew Stobart, a redshirt freshman out of Boise's Bora High School. The man who comes up with the ball. Rod Bryant says, yeah, our defense is tough.
Quite an impact here at the goal line. Pops that ball out. Anderson hit him.
Mike Anderson.
Hit him right in the numbers.
And then Andrew Stobart gets the loose ball. Hey, give Michael credit. Even though he got popped, he still goes after his own fumble. Harrington on 1st and 10 at the 20. To throw. Throws it across the middle. Orlando Winston is there. Gain of about 4 or 5 yards. Corey Hall on the stop. Andy Avalos is there. Julius Roberts. And Julius Roberts gets up limping a little bit. There's 92.
It's been some tough hitting out here today. I see Quentin Jones laying down on the training table here on the Boise State sidelines, getting some attention to his leg.
Yeah, looks like his left knee is hurt. Second down, they give him 5 on forward progress as Matt Miller splits out wide to the left side this time. Kelly Meade in motion. Give us to Shaw, and Shaw has nothing. Nate Oldham making the stop. Dane Oldham, Dane the senior out of San Diego, California, University High School. 6'3", 265-pound senior, 3-year letterman. And Alex Guerrero checks into the lineup, replacing Julius Roberts, who limps off. Cam Hall comes in. 57, Andrew Browning comes in. Shaw fighting for yardage. Good effort. 3rd down and 2. To Shaw, first down. Andy Avalos on the bottom of the pile. Guerrero also there.
Travis Berger blitzing from the outside on the left side of the formation, trying to get upfield and make something happen, but he can't get to Shaw in time.
Mike Williams comes back in the lineup, replacing Andrew Browning.
Once Shaw gets turned upfield, it's going to be hard to stop him for a 1 or 2 yard gain. That guy runs hard and runs low.
Almost trips and falls, gives the handoff to Shaw, and Shaw almost breaks out of a tackle, but good defense that time by Dane Oldham, who was right there on top of it.
Oh, Harrington stumbled coming out from under center. Almost fell down, but he managed to get his balance back and get that handoff completed.
Corey Hall on the assist. Second down and a long 10 now. They give him about a half a yard loss. Matt Miller splits wide to the right side. Orlando Winston, that's Bobby Bernal Wood, wide to the left side. Harrington throwing right up the middle to McCoy. No, did they trip? Yes. Chris Carr is going to be charged with tripping Mike McCoy.
Chris Carr just runs right up the back of McCoy. Watch the end of this play and you'll see McCoy's not really too far ahead of him, but Chris Carr is looking back for the ball, and there comes the interference.
Mike Harrington says we'll take it any way we can get it.
Pass interference on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Penalties continue to rack up for Boise State.
9 penalties, 78 yards for Boise State. And we've just started the second half. Harrington fakes it up to Shaw. Going long up the middle of the field. Intended for Orlando Winston, but Gabe Franklin on the defense.
Gabe Franklin step for step. Awful hard to beat that guy one-on-one. I mean, it happens to every defensive back, but doesn't seem to happen to number 16, Gabe Franklin, very often.
This is really the strength of the Bronco defense, isn't it? Those 4 defensive backfield guys.
4 and 5 and sometimes 6.
Right. And Andy Avalos is a pretty good linebacker. Shaw falls forward for about 2 or 3. It'll be third down, 7 yards to go.
See Julius Roberts checking back in at the defensive end position, so he just must have had a little bruise that went away.
Paul Allen has come out of the ball game. Third down and 7. Zach Gershner in. Penalties fall again. Pass was intended for Cedric Thompson. Chris Carr get called for that? Yep, going over the back.
Pass interference on the defense. That's a spot foul, but it's an automatic first down.
Vandals back in Broncos territory for the first time in the second half. Matt Miller in motion, and flags fall again. Brian Yarno jumped early.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty. We still have first down.
First and 15 now as the ball goes back to the 46-yard line. 7:30 left to play here in the third quarter. Broncos have not scored since early in the second quarter.
They have Winston and Bernal coming to the same side. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go deep on this play.
That's Winston in motion. Carr on a blitz, and they got it.
Andrew Browning
Andrew Browning, number 57, the redshirt freshman out of Lake Oswego, Oregon, along with Alex Guerrero. A couple of guys listed as second stringers, showing they deserve to play.
Harrington's got quite a bit of time to throw this ball, and
Chris Carr is coming on the blitz from the outside. That forces him to come up, and that's when Browning gets it.
He got him all right.
Second down and about 18 yards to go. Bobby Bernal Wood wide to the left side. Shaw in motion. And here come the Broncos. Pass for Matt Miller. Gain of about 8 or 9 yards to the 40-yard line where Julius Brown makes the stop.
The Broncos really have not gotten to Harrington too much tonight via the blitz.
And they tried to blitz that time, and
they did.
There was nothing there.
Vandal offensive fronts picked it up virtually every time they've tried it. Harrington's also done a nice job of stepping back up into the pocket to get away from some of that pressure, too.
Big third down play here for both teams. Third down and 8. Octave and Winston wide to the right side. Kelly Need wide to the left. Pass goes right down the middle of the field, intended for Orlando Winston, and Chris Carr played excellent defense that time. Bring up fourth down. And the Vandals will try to pin the Broncos deep in their own territory. Ryan Downs, averaging 40 yards a punt. Well, now Gilligan just went off, and Wes Nurse came back into the ball game, and apparently the Broncos didn't like the setup, so they called timeout. Tim Gilligan says, well, what is it exactly you wanted from me? All right, there are 5:59 left to play here in the third quarter. The score, Boise State 14, Idaho 3. As Ryan Downs gets set to punt, we want to remind you at the end of today's game, stay tuned for the Subway Sub of the Game. We'll highlight a non-starting player who has made a major contribution to today's game. Brought to you by Subway, where you can eat fresh. All right, they will go in punt return formation. Gilligan is back. And Gilligan's going to let it go. And the Vandals are going to down it inside the 10-yard line. Jeff Caves is down on the sideline. Jeff, what do you got?
Well, Larry, you described Quentin Jones when he was coming back on that hinge gate or the reverse, that he should have cut it up inside. Well, maybe if he had, he wouldn't have injured his knee. He's now in the locker room for evaluation. They don't know how serious it is, but that tells me they certainly don't want to take any chances and maybe getting some x-rays. Ted?
Thanks, Jeff. First and 10 for the Broncos. They'll have to go 91 yards if they hope to score. Just a 30-yard punt that time for Downs, who's been averaging 43 yards a punt so far tonight. Dinwiddie passing from the end zone. He's got to run, and he is sacked at the 4-yard line.
Brian Howard just ran right over the top of the offensive line. Just came right through.
Michael Tongafo also there. Patrick Leiby. Tongafo, number 66, is a 6'3", 292-pound junior out of Pittsburgh, California.
And Howard got to the setup position that Dinwiddie was supposed to be in about the same time he did. You see him set up there, and there's Howard forcing him out.
Lawrence Beatty and Jerry Smith go wide to the right side. Dinwiddie gives to Donnie Heck, and Heck spins his way to the 10-yard line. Nate Nichols, number 27, sophomore out of Walla Walla, Washington, making the stop.
Vandals bringing in their third and long defense personnel with a little nickel look. Here's a look at Donnie Heck with that carry. Draw off the right side of the formation.
It's a good block from Brad Lau that time to spring it. Big third down play here. The Vandal fans on their feet. Dinwiddie, plenty of protection. Now it starts to break down to Beatty. Beatty's at the 20. He's got the first down to the 27-yard line. Lawrence Beatty just camped out there. He was wide open. Daryl Murphy finally made the stop on him, but not before Lawrence Beatty picks up the first down.
Bryson James was out on the field and drew the coverage deep. And you're right, Beatty just sat out in the flat. He's the go-to guy, the outlet receiver. If nothing else is there, he's the guy. And he gets it and takes it for the first.
Come on, Rod.
Better put that ball away a little bit, though.
Come on, Rod.
1st and 10. Dinwiddie has a little working room now. TJ Akery in motion to the left. He gives to Donnie Heck. Heck spins again down across the 30 to the 34-yard line. Chad Kadama from Seattle, Washington, 6'3", 234-pound senior making the stop. Kadama came into this game with 8 unassisted tackles.
Heck picks up 7 yards. Again, that offensive front with the running game has done an excellent job tonight in opening holes for both Donnie Heck and David Michael to run through.
3 carries, 15 yards for Donnie Heck so far. Derek Schumann is checked into the lineup at tight end. Double tight end. Heck again. Popped up the ball, and the Vandals say they have it. The second fumble of the night, and Daryl Murphy has the ball. Now Donnie Heck fumbled in the end zone last week, recovered his own fumble. This time, they give the Vandals great field position. Watch it here. As Heck, arm just a little wide.
The Vandals will take over in one of the best spots they've had tonight. They're going to start from the 35-yard line of the Broncos.
That's the second turnover for the Broncos. Vandals have 1. Harrington does not like what he sees. Flags fall.
25-second clock expires.
55-yard penalty. Still first down.
Almost said 15-yard penalty.
He was thinking about it. He's called so many of those tonight, he figured he'd just give you 15 anyway.
Tom Cable with his leading rusher, Malfred Shaw, on the sideline with him there, number 31. Harrington being pressured. He unloaded the ball, and Winston was right there. Orlando Winston tried to make a circus catch, but no good. Watch the pressure that Harrington is under here.
Finally, the Broncos do get some pressure on him. Julius Brown's on the coverage for the Broncos. That just off his fingertips.
Trent Lundeen made one of those catches, but Orlando Winston couldn't come up with it. Those gloves. Second down, 15. Harrington throws the quick out to Bobby Bernal Wood. Oh, and Corey Hall knocked him into last week. Wow. You ever seen a guy knock back like that?
We told you in our game setup, when he gets to you, he hits you.
Oh,
and normally you go down, and you go down in a hurry.
And Bobby Bernal Wood is no little guy at 6'2", 203 pounds. Watch this.
Last guy in, boom.
Boom. Oh, gee. Third down, 7 yards to go. Zach Gerstner, the lone setback. Quick toss to Bobby Bernal Wood, no good. Maybe Corey Hall's hit affected him on that one, because the ball, once again, you cannot blame Michael Harrington. He has thrown the ball right into people's hands.
Looks like the Vandals giving it some consideration to go for it on 4th and 7. And they're going to go for it on 4th and 7.
Why not? Trailing by 11 points, haven't scored a touchdown all year. Matt Miller, Orlando Winston come wide to the left. Octave is wide to the right. Harrington sets, throws across the middle, complete to the tight end McCoy for the first down inside the 20-yard line. Wes Nurse and Andy Avalos making the stop, but the tight end has been a huge weapon for the Vandals tonight.
Well, the Broncos certainly haven't really figured out how to stop that play from happening. That's the third time they've gone right down the middle. One was a big play. This one, he's looking for him all the way, and there is nobody around him.
On 4th and 7, the Vandals pick up a critical first down. 2 catches, 46 yards for Mike McCoy. Harrington, all kinds of time, throws it right off the hands of number 2, Cedric Thompson. Julius Brown was there to knock it away. That ball hit him right in the hands.
Watch the plays coming across the middle. It does. It hits him in the chest, but a good job by Julius to get his hands in there and strip that ball away and get some arms. Disrupt that pass receiver.
Harrington with Shaw as his setback. Throws complete to Bobby Bernal Wood. Good for about 7 yards. Julius Brown makes the stop immediately.
We're working on Julius right now on that side of the formation, and he's going to check out of the game. Well, he was. Yeah, now he does, and Cam Hall checks in.
3rd down and 3. To Shaw. Shaw breaks the tackle, still on his feet, down to the 5-yard line where he has another 1st and goal for the Vandals. Cam Hall making the stop. And the Vandals, who have not scored a touchdown this year, knock on the door for the 2nd time tonight. 15 carries, 47 yards for Alfred Shaw as you watch the good hustle. Cam Hall has him, but Shaw just keeps going for another 3 yards.
Well, the Vandal offensive line just collapsed the left side of the Bronco defense. Easy hole for Shaw to run through.
1st and goal. Ryan Yarno goes in motion. Pass intended for Shaw, who was wide open, but Harrington flat missed that one.
Shaw never looked back for the ball, so I'm not sure if he really understood what the play was. He was supposed to run to the corner cone, and that's where the ball was thrown.
Alex Guerrero replaces Julius Roberts on the defensive line for the Broncos. Brian Lindgren calling the plays from the sidelines. That's number 11. Preseason conference quarterback of the year. And he's not playing. Shaw hit by Carr right at the line of scrimmage. May have spun forward for a yard or two. But it'll be 3rd down and goal from the 4-yard line.
I don't think we're going to see any field goal kickers trot onto the field either, Ted. I believe these guys are going to the end zone or they're not going anywhere.
Well, Matt Miller and Orlando Winston bring the play, or check that, Bobby Bernal Wood bring the plays in. Critical 3rd down play. They give us to Shaw, and Shaw is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Andy Avalos there. Dane Oldham getting up off the bottom of the pile. 4th down now.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Oh, good. I'll have some time to think about it. What do you do on 4th down?
You pick up the sure 3. Get you within a touchdown. We've got a quarter to play. We'll be back. The score, Boise State 14. The Idaho Vandals knocking on the door, 3. It's 4th and goal from the 4-yard line. Boise State up by 11, and the Vandals are going for it. Michael Harrington has Bobby Bernal Wood split out wide to the right side. He's got Orlando Winston in a slot on the left, and Matt Miller wide to the right, or to the left, excuse me. There it is, 4th and goal. Harrington into the end zone, and Idaho has their first touchdown of the year. Winston.
No pressure that time on Harrington to throw the ball. He sat back there and danced around for 5 or 6 seconds until Winston could find an opening to crawl into, and he did. Harrington delivered the strike.
And they'll apparently go just for one here. Harrington has plenty of time and throws it. Cam Hall can't stop it. The kick is up. It's good. And with 14:55 left to play in the ball game, we've got a 5-point game. An 11-play, 35-yard drive that took 3 minutes and 17 seconds. And the Vandals are very much into this ball game as they score their first touchdown of the year. Brian Pope kicks it off deep. David Michael has a chance to run it back. He's at the 20 and spun down at about the 23-24-yard line. Well, the Vandals are fired up. The monkey is off their back. They've scored their first touchdown.
Let's take a look at our Washington Trust Bank third quarter stats. You can see the advantage starting to pile up there for the Vandals as far as total yards go, and the turnover thing has just killed 2 Boise State drives.
10 penalties, 88 yards for the Broncos. Well, now we'll see what the Broncos are made of. Michael cuts to his right, runs past Murphy, and is close to a first down. Ruffin, the man making the stop for the Vandals.
And they do give him enough yardage for the first down. Good vision there by David Michael as he went off the right side of his formation. Really did a nice job cutting that thing back to the outside and then following his blockers for a 10-yard gain.
Acree and Smith split out wide to the left side. Gives to Michael again. Good lead blocking that time by Andrew Stobart makes the stop. Tyrone Tutogi was out lead blocking for Michael. You stay on the ground, Poe?
Right now, it's really the only thing that's worked very well for him. Stay on the ground long enough, it'll open up that air game again.
Dinwiddie throws the quick toss out to Acree, and Acree has about 3 yards. Or Jerry Smith.
J.R. Ruffin with a real acrobatic play. Hurdles the blocker who was trying to cut his legs out from under him and then comes up and makes the stop for a gain of about 3. You can see it out there. The pass comes out. And number 8 just does a little hurdle job there and dives at the legs.
And it was Acree. It was T.J. Acree, not Smith. Tony Altieri, our spotter, gave you some bad information that time. It's okay, he's done a great job. Third down, 2 yards to go. Dinwiddie takes it himself. Well, Dinwiddie says he's got the first down. Let's see what the officials say.
He's short of the 45-yard line.
He is. Dinwiddie gets totally spun around here. Watch.
Again, the speed option, and every time he's run that play tonight, he's called his own number.
Brian Howard. Also Mike Anderson. And they're going for it. Michael has it and more. Brad Law, or Swenson, Greg Swenson blocking for him out in front.
Yeah, Greg Swenson did a great job of opening up that hole. What the offensive line didn't do, he finished up. Swenson's a load in there. Idaho coaches in the box next to us getting a little upset, throwing stuff around.
Swenson is 5'10", 216-pound junior out of Paradise Valley, Arizona. Vandals fake the blitz. Pass complete to Gilligan. And Gilligan knocked out of bounds after another first down by Patrick Leiby. Gilligan showing no ill effects from that badly bruised hip.
Gilligan working on Roderick Bryant from the cornerback position. Did a good job of spinning out of the tackle and picking up enough yards for the first down.
Good drive going by the Broncos. Best one they've had since the first quarter. Dinwiddie throwing long. He's got a man wide open. But the pass was way overthrown. Gilligan says he was held by Murphy and J.R. Ruffin were back there, but the official wants no part of it.
Here's an isolation camera shot on Gilligan.
No, it looks like Ruffin's the one that got poked in the eye. Second down and 10. Throws the screen to Michael. He's got men in front of him, and Michael is close to another first down. He had Tyrone Tatugi out there knocking people from here to next week.
Very nicely run screen play. We haven't seen that much out of the Broncos last week or tonight, but that one executed very well. Picks up almost enough for the first down. They're going to be just about a yard and a half short.
Tyrone, 6'1", 274-pound senior out of Oxnard, California. A transfer from Cal State Northridge, sociology major when they canceled football at Cal State Northridge, where John Elway's father used to coach. Third down and 2. To Heck. Heck has the first down.
Look at Heck cover the ball up. He's got both arms on the ball this time. He's not going to fumble again.
Chad Kodama really ripped him, but not before Heck had picked up the first down.
Here's Donnie Heck cutting the ball back against the grain. Goes by Williams.
Gets by Mike Anderson. And look at that.
It does a nice job of covering up.
Kodama just whaps him. 14 first downs for the Broncos, 15 for Idaho. Donnie Heck again. Falls forward for a couple of yards. Mike Anderson there. Chad Poole. Poole, we told you earlier, a true freshman out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Schumann, the true freshman for the Broncos, comes into the ball game. Derek Schumann out of Eagle High School, 6'2", 225-pounder. Splits wide to the right side. Jerry Smith in motion. Quick toss to Smith. Smith turns up, has the first down. And he got a sensational block that time from Derek Schumann. Derek Schumann, Daryl Murphy Schumann knocked Daryl Murphy totally out of the play and allowed the first down. Watch this.
Schumann and Lundeen, two tight ends, are out to the right side of the formation. They're the blocking backs for Jerry Smith. You see one block there to spring him for enough yards for the first down.
Broncos threatening. They give us to Michael. Michael runs into a wall at about the 9-yard line. Robert Davis, a redshirt freshman out of Simi Valley, California.
The Vandals down on the play. They stop the clock.
Chad Poole is the man who was injured, the freshman. Wow.
Poole gets kicked in the head by one of his guys coming across the pileup.
He's sitting up. That's good news.
Took a knee to the head. Get his bell rung a little bit. That play, David Michael stumbled just a little bit in the backfield and it kind of took his rhythm out.
9:40 left to play in the ball game. The Broncos are threatening. They lead it 14-10. On second down, Dinwiddie breaks a tackle, but he can't get out of the mess he's in there, and he's thrown for about a 2-yard loss. Patrick Livey, what a game he's had.
Dinwiddie gets up limping a little bit. If you watch at the end of this play, his legs get caught up underneath him. It's kind of a weird angle that he goes down at. Right there, so he kind of gets turned under.
Yeah. He is limping badly as he goes up to the line of scrimmage. Third down. That's Lundeen in motion. They throw it back to Michael. Michael cannot turn the corner. Mike Anderson is there. So Tyler Jones will come in to try to give the Broncos a 7-point lead. Is there a face mask there?
Whoa. And he tackled the headgear.
Tyler Jones kicking from the 16, 26-yard field goal attempt is good. Despite the high snap, Tyler Jones gives the Broncos a 7-point lead with 7:56 left to play in the ball game. Tyler Jones has been a real weapon for this club this year. You see the score. We'll be back for the final 8 minutes right after this. A little breathing room for the Broncos. They certainly don't have any 22-point leads the way many people thought they would as Tyler Jones gets set to kick off. Thompson and Miller back deep. Jones high end over end. 1 yard deep. And great coverage once again. Thompson has no place to go. He doesn't even get to the 10-yard line.
Well, that kind of leads back to that theory you were talking about, Ted, about not kicking it through the end zone.
Right.
Let them return the ball, and they do such a good job covering. They stopped him inside the 10-yard line this time.
15 plays, 67-yard drive, taking nearly 7 minutes off the clock. And now there are 7:48 left to play. Big field ahead of the Vandals of the University of Idaho. Julius Roberts, I see back in the ball game. The whole first string front line is in the game right now. As Harrington, who's gone the entire way, is back to pass. Throws it right across the middle. It's got a man open, and Orlando Winston takes him down to the 30-yard line. The 2-year letterman out of Seattle. Tackled by Gabe Franklin, but not before he picks up big yardage.
He's looking all the way at Winston, doesn't look at any other receiver. He's going to him first and foremost.
And no pressure on him.
No, he hasn't had much pressure all night.
Well, when you have 300-pound offensive linemen, that tends to happen. Harrington rolls this time. Throws complete to Matt Miller for a gain of about 5 yards.
This defense right now not really walking with that swagger you like to see in a defense. They've kind of got their heads down just a little bit, walking around. Not a good thing to see if you're a Bronco fan right now.
Matt Miller's father played for South Carolina 20-some years ago. Orlando Winston in motion. To get to Shaw. Shaw breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage and maybe gains a couple. Mike Williams, Andy Avalos. Williams is going to be a good one. A redshirt freshman out of Lethbridge, Alberta. 6'2", 239-pounder. Third down, 4. And now Mike Harrington wants timeout. Does not like what he sees set up for him. He calls timeout with 6:52 left to play in the ball game. The Broncos on top by a score of 17-10. Tom Cable at least knows that his team can score a touchdown.
Well, you knew that was inevitable. I mean, sooner or later they were going to get things going, and they've got the passing game wound up tonight. Take some time out right now to look at our Subway sub of the game. And we picked Trent Lundeen. Now, not big stats tonight, a couple of catches for only 31 yards, but that 22-yard reception where he stretched out and dove across the field and made that great play for a first down, that earns him Subway sub of the game.
Pass intended for Bobby Bernal or Wood, but Julius Brown got his hand in there, and that'll force a fourth down situation, and the Vandals are going to have to punt. Ryan Downs, who's been averaging right at 40 yards a punt, will send it to Tim Gilligan. Really neat protection for him. 3 men stay back to protect.
Kent Riddle was trying to explain this to us on the tarmac at the airport, but I didn't get it.
Tim Gilligan is going to return. And flags go down. Chris Carr is going to be charged with blocking in the back. Patrick Murphy was down there. Gilligan and Jimmy Labita discuss where they're going to have pizza later tonight. Dinwiddie grabs. Everybody's grabbing Gilligan to get out of the way. 36-yard punt.
See if we can see what happens at the end of this play where Labita and...
There's Cars blocking in the back. Brian Yarno makes the stop. There's Gilligan and Labita. Labita's trying to break up Gilligan and somebody else.
And there's a face mask call against the Vandals.
They're talking with Brian Howard.
I think the referee that threw the penalty flag for the block in the back didn't have another flag to throw, so he called the face mask too. Guess he couldn't find his beanbag to throw down there.
Dan Hawkins getting the explanation. Kent Riddle getting the explanation. Kent Riddle's also the running backs coach. Brock Forsey, who now plays for the Chicago Bears, has been given much credit for making the team to Riddle because of his blocking. Off to there's the face mask right there on the right-hand side of your screen.
That's a good one too. Got a hold of that thing all the way. So do we re-kick this, or do they chalk off yardage? That's to be determined.
Referee Walter Davenport is still trying to sort things out. He's got half the free world down there talking with him. Okay. Gilligan gets grabbed. Oh,
there's another face mask.
Right
so he's
there.
got two on the same play.
By Yarno, right.
And when you tackle a man with a face mask, that is usually a 15-yarder.
All right, here comes the explanation.
There's a block in the back on the receiving team. There's a face mask on the kicking team. They offset. We'll replay the fourth down.
Okay, after all that. Gilligan's had one very good return of 30-some yards tonight.
That was a return up the middle. That last return they were trying to put on, he caught the ball on the far right hash mark, pivoted, pirouetted around, and came back all the way to the left sidelines. See what return they have on here.
Ryan Downs had his shortest punt of the night, 36 yards. Gilligan calls a fair catch this time. Why is he calling fair catch so much this year? Well, he's never done it in his entire career.
I don't know. He's a senior. Maybe he's just trying to survive the year and get out good.
6:27 left to play in the ball game. The score: Boise State 17, Idaho 10. The last time they had the ball, the Broncos kept it for nearly 7 minutes. If they can do that again, this game is over. Dinwiddie to throw. He's got Bryson James downfield, but couldn't get the ball to him. Rod Bryant on the defense as we take you down to the field, and Jeff Caves.
There's sad news for the Bronco football family, guys. Kelly Troutman has passed away. He passed away on Tuesday at 40 years old. The brother of Randy, the All-American and Hall of Famer from Boise State. You see a picture of his family. And KT, as he was affectionately known. The Chief was a great one. Had an opportunity to live with him. And just wish the family the best. The service was today. Ted?
Second down, 10 yards to go for the Broncos. Dinwiddie has Gilligan in motion this time. To give to Michael. Over his right tackle. He's got the first down. He's still going. Breaks a tackle at the 50. And there he goes. David Michael takes it all the way to the barn. David Michael with a sensational run. He leaves three Vandals in his wake down on the ground, including Rod Bryant, who was limping off the field.
Wow, that is just an electrifying run by David Michael. My goodness. He just kept going and going. You thought he was about ready to be tackled. He accelerates past one guy, gets a block, gets down the sidelines, and then he just turns on the juice. And now the Broncos get called for a celebration penalty on the sidelines.
A 78-yard run by David Michael. And the senior comes through again from Sacramento and the Thomas High School. A social science major, and he's got the science down right there. Big, huge play by the senior from Sacramento.
On the offense.
Unsportsmanlike conduct is called on the Broncos, so we'll see Tyler Jones backed up when we kick this ball off.
Remember last week, though? He had a 15-yard penalty and kicked it into the end zone.
He's frightening in this place, too, with this dead air.
21 rushes, 221 yards for David Michael. Incredible. Tyler Jones for the extra point. Tyler Jones is perfect in his entire career as we take a look once again at David Michael.
Well, there's never an unassuming play when Michael touches the ball. Cuts back to the right side of the formation. Really nice hole to start with. Gets big yardage right off the bat. You think they're going to catch him about right here. Breaks the tackle, and then he gets to the sideline, and look out.
Rod Bryant gets tripped and goes down, and Michael is on his way. Patrick Murphy looks like he gets knocked off there. He got a huge block. We have a chance to see it again. You'll see Rusty Colburn just wipe out the left side of the Vandal line.
Colburn's telling him, hey, that was me out there. Remember me, buddy, 61. I did that for you.
Colburn absolutely wiped out the Vandal defensive line. 6'5", 310-pound junior. Biggest man on this team. Out of La Crescenta Valley. Watch it. Watch the block.
There's Ansell's got a block. McLeod gets his block, and there's the block that takes out two guys. Colburn just collapses the defensive line.
Hey. Rusty Colburn, nice block. Wow.
D-Mike, nice speed.
Rusty Colburn is a history major. As you watch it again.
You see Colburn, he takes it down, and it just takes out one, two guys, almost three guys with that one block.
Now that'll go in the history books. As Tyler Jones to kick off from the 20. Vandals need to make something happen here. End over ender. Coming to the 10-yard line. Thompson to the 25. Brings out the 30. And Terrell Hall holds him down at the 47-yard line. One of the three Hall boys on this team. Corey, Cam, and Terrell. And they are all three excellent football players. But the Vandals have excellent field position.
Well, invariably, when you get one of those celebration penalties and you have to kick off from the 20-yard line, pretty much going to start that offense out in pretty decent field position.
Officials say he went down at the 46-yard line. Zach Gerstner, the lone setback. 36-yard return that time. pressure, and down he goes. Dane Oldham with a big play. And Oldham is down.
Well, he knocked the wind out of himself. He came down with the quarterback right on top of him. I don't think he's going to be too hurt, but I don't think he's that much air in his lungs right now.
Michael Harrington under the most pressure he's seen all night. And big Dane Oldham out of University High School in San Diego, California. Catches his breath, he's up, and he's fine.
Not much of a worse feeling than that when you have no air in your lungs. Does not feel good.
Yep. Second down, 16 yards to go. Harrington has plenty of time this time. Throws to Bobby Bernal Wood and is close to a first down. Gabe Franklin making the stop.
Going to bring up a 3rd and 1 situation for the Vandals. Bernal's a big guy. We told that up front. We thought that he was going to, give these cornerbacks a little bit of trouble because of his height. And when they've thrown it on the outside, it has given him a little trouble.
And he's had several right in his hands that he's dropped. He's had several receptions tonight, but could have had a lot more. 3rd and 1. They give to Shaw, and Shaw, I don't think, made it. Chris Carr hit him right at the line of scrimmage. He did not make the first down.
This is definitely 2-down territory for the Vandals, being down 14 with only 5:30 left to go in the game. They're going for it. He actually lost yardage on that.
Andy Avalos also there.
They line up quick.
Harrington takes the quarterback sneak.
This is all about spot. And boy, I tell you, one line judge isn't giving it to him. They didn't make it.
I don't think they made it either. Travis Berger says no. Chris Carr says no. Gabe Franklin says no.
And
Paul Allen says no.
What do the referees say, though?
Wes Nurse says no.
Imagine you'd at least get a measurement out of this, wouldn't you?
Nothing.
Nope, they gave it to the Broncos.
Nothing.
Turned it over.
Absolutely, not even a measurement. How about that for a defensive stand? Dan Hawkins is going to feel a little bit better about that. Paul Allen, the man credited with the tackle.
Well, he stuffed it up in the middle. That was a huge pile of humanity in there. Harrington trying to quarterback sneak it. Didn't work.
And you got a guy like Alfred Shaw. I don't know about a quarterback sneak. The pitch to Michael again. Cuts back this time for about 3 yards. A lot of bodies flying around the field.
Oh, there's a flag. Got to be a personal foul on somebody.
Tim Gilligan says it's against the Vandals. Idaho's played very, very well. I hope they don't lose their composure now.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Whoa.
When those flags come in that late, it's never very good. Always something of the 15-yard variety at that point.
Coach Cable's going to skin somebody over that. Look at this. Offensive lineman, which is what he was, worked too hard for yardage to give it up that way. 1st and 10. Dinwiddie. Quick toss to Gilligan. Gilligan gets one block from Tony McPherson. And Patrick Leiby makes the stop.
Still excellent reaction by that Vandal defense to get out there on the little quick screen to the wide receiver.
And McPherson made a good block for him, and they still, Chad Poole ends up getting credit for the tackle.
And he can block one guy, but he's going to have trouble blocking two out there. Just good reaction by the defensive front.
Jerry Smith splits wide to the right side. TJ Acree is flanked on the left. Double tight end. Dinwiddie. Sets, throws, complete to Derek Schumann. The true freshman takes it down to the 15-yard line. Chad Poole makes a stop on him, and Schumann just used his big body to get between he and Poole and make the catch.
Well, they really like Schumann, and Dinwiddie just gets this off before he gets hit. Schumann goes down, screens his defender away from him, shields it with his body, makes a nice catch. They are really high on this, as you said, young freshman, true freshman out of Eagle High School.
His longest pass reception as a collegiate, 19 yards. He had one catch for 13 yards a week ago. Donnie Heck gets a couple of yards maybe. Mike Anderson making the stop.
Donnie Heck going forward though, running with those shoulders out.
The Governor's Trophy. Governor Dirk Kempthorne was on Broncomania this past week talking about the Governor's Trophy that he got started.
You know, it resided up here in Idaho for quite a long time, but it hasn't been here for a few years, and it doesn't look like it's going back this year.
A lot of people talked about getting rid of this rivalry. I tell you, Idaho's played it pretty well.
It's pretty chippy out there. I think these guys think it's a rivalry.
Yep. Donnie Heck again holding on to the ball, but not much yardage. It'll be third down and still a long way to go as Brandon Mascoro, a redshirt freshman out of Ventura, California, makes the stop. And Derek Schumann checks back into the ball game, replacing Lausma, Kevin Lausma, who's also been the long snapper tonight. Big third down and 7. Acree in motion. Fake the give to Heck. Throwing it complete to Weldon. Weldon does not have the first down, but he's about 2 yards away.
Boy, and I know RD couldn't see him, but Schumann was wide open, running on the O in the Idaho in the end zone.
Andy Weldon picks up his first pass completion of the year. And the Idaho Vandals want timeout with 2:16 left to play here in the ball game.
Ted, what do you say we take a look at our Connecticut Quality Water Systems Player of the Game?
And David Michael is certainly a quality player. For the second week in a row, he has led this offense. 22 carries for 223 yards, and there he is. David Michael, the senior from Sacramento, player of the game a week ago and player of the game tonight.
And he is our Connecticut Quality Water Systems Player of the Game. Pure water you will not find anywhere except when it comes from Connecticut.
The biggest play of this ball game, I don't think there's much doubt about that.
Nope, this
the
is your
lucky play of the game.
That's right, brought to you by the Idaho Lottery.
And here it is, certainly a lucky play for the Broncos as David Michael takes it to the right side, bust by Ruffin, and away he goes. David Michael breaks this ball game open for the lucky play of the game. 4th down and 3 for the Broncos. Dinwiddie to throw. It's complete. And up and going.
Mark Onabakun out there on the wide receiver situation. He has nowhere to go. Again, good reaction by this Vandal defense.
Patrick Murphy, or Daryl Murphy, the first one to get to him. Mark Onabakun, they were trying to set up a little screen, kind of that run and shoot screen, and there was just nothing there.
Well, Dinwiddie's talking to Mark Onabakun right now as they come off the field because something didn't jive in that play, and I'm sure it was Mark who had the problem. Young player, new to the program. You get in the heat of battle, and sometimes you forget what you're doing.
2:11 left to play in the 4th quarter. Michael Harrington, who I said at the beginning of the game you might not see him very long. Well, you've seen him every play. Harrington under pressure. No! Almost intercepted by Avalos. Almost intercepted by Corey Hall.
And then there's a flag at the end of the play.
Corey Hall said, doggone it. Hall had 5 tackles last week, 2 unassisted, 3 assists, and he should have had his first interception.
After the play, personal foul on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Oh! I didn't see that one. Wes Nurse says, how come you're showing me? I didn't do anything.
Here's a look at the almost pick. Interception almost had by Andy Avalos. Then the tip drill. Hall had a chance to get it and couldn't hang on to it.
Harrington goes to Bobby Bernal Wood for another first down. Gabe Franklin making the stop. Franklin, who only had one unassisted tackle last week, has got a bunch of them tonight.
There's been a lot of completed passes tonight.
Across the middle to the tight end, McCoy. And McCoy has about 7-8 yards. Travis Berger making the stop. Clock running, 1:42 left to play in the ball game.
McCoy gets up slow.
And an official's timeout as Kelly Need, the second string, actually the third string tight end. Their number one tight end is a fellow by the name of Luke Smith Anderson out of Coeur d'Alene, 6'5", 251-pounder who had knee surgery this week. And of course, Keith Greer, who is kind of a tight end fullback, is the fellow who is still fighting for his life in a Seattle hospital after being injured in the Washington, broke his leg in the Washington game. Harrington, by the way, 24 of 45 for 264 yards and 1 touchdown. Greer, by the way, has been upgraded from critical to serious condition, but he is still in a Seattle hospital. Second down, 2 yards to go. Harrington sets, throws across the middle. Complete to the tight end, that's Kelly Need. Oh, check out that, Zach Gerstner. Zach Gerstner, as the Vandals have another first down. Alex Guerrero a little slow, coming back to the line of scrimmage.
Broncos getting caught here by this quick snap offense. They're not getting set.
Pass intended for Matt Miller, and Julius Brown came over the top. Fans don't like it, but I think it was a good play by Brown.
Stops the clock with 1:28 left on our network group 2-minute clock. Network group transforming technology into a business tool, the network group.
Next week, the Broncos go to Corvallis, Oregon to take on Oregon State.
Both of these teams are getting a little Pac-10 meet next week. Vandals going to Washington.
Harrington for Orlando Winston. Nothing there as Chris Carr on the one-on-one coverage. .122 left to play now. Broncos up by 2 touchdowns. I think they'll just be glad to get home.
Well, they got a very determined Vandal team, and they came out here ready to play, and they've played hard. Got their first touchdown of the year, so they got that off their back.
3rd and 10. Harrington across the middle to Orlando Winston, who gets undressed by Andy Avalos. Wow.
That's pretty much a dream for a linebacker, to see a receiver coming over the middle, doesn't know you're coming, and you know exactly when and where you're going to intersect him.
Watch this hit.
Boom! Avalos came from 7-8 yards away, knew exactly when that thing was going down. Receiver had no clue.
Orlando Winston will be sending Christmas cards to Andy Avalos.
Of course, maybe better you don't see that coming. Just take the hit and move on.
5'10", 222-pound junior. He's been a starter ever since his freshman days. And what a competitor, as you take a look at Tom Cable. Trying to find out what he can do on 4th down. 1:18 left to play in the ball game. The Vandals down by 2 touchdowns.
You wouldn't have to like to sick security on him now.
No. Wouldn't want to sick Dan Hawkins on you.
No, and he's not going to be real happy after tonight's performance. But hey, if he gets out of here with a W, it's a W.
Harrington on 4th down. Sets, throws, incomplete. Almost picked off by Julius Brown. Had intended for Matt Miller. And Julius Brown played it perfectly.
Yeah, he's been dialing in all night long, and they've been throwing the out routes towards him, and he hasn't had a chance to get a pick. This one, he saw it coming from a long ways off, made a great break on the ball. Probably not real happy with himself for not catching that ball.
Well, let's see what the Broncos do now in the last minute 13.
Well, the Vandals have no timeout, so I would hope that they're just going to take a knee and move on, but you never know.
I was going to say, it's not Dan Hawkins football. They give us to Michael. David Michael knocks Jerry Smith in the next week and picks up about 8 yards. Patrick Leiby making the stop.
Jerry Smith didn't see that one coming either.
And when he sees the film tomorrow, coaches will say, hey, Jerry, when you're on the field, don't be looking around.
Yeah, he may get a little ribbon from his buddies in film session on that one.
Hit somebody or you're liable to get hit. And David Michael knocked his helmet loose.
David Michael running a 4.440. When he hits you, probably going to feel it.
2nd down and 2. David Michael again. And Michael is close to a first down.
Ted, let's take a look right now at our Idaho Department of Transportation drive of the game. That's the Lundeen catch that we talked about. David Michael coming off around the corner. He gets it into the end zone. Your Idaho Transportation Department drive of the game. Are you an aggressive driver? If you're running late, speed, tailgate, run red lights. You're an aggressive driver at least part of the time.
3 seconds left, and that's the ball game. Ryan Dinwood is going to take a knee. Brian Howard has one final word with Kevin Lausma. Dan Hawkins crosses the field to congratulate head coach Tom Cable.
And in just a couple minutes, we're going to have Jeff Caves and the start of our Tom Scott Motors post-game show. Jeff's going to interview Hawk, and he'll also talk to a player or two.
Nobody has to hang their head tonight, Poe. I tell you, both teams played very well. Yes, the Broncos made lots of mistakes. You see some of the fans who traveled up here today as we take you downstairs to the caveman, Jeff Caves. Jeff.
Here with BSU head football coach Dan Hawkins. We'll let you do the describing, Hawk, at this point.
Very sloppy. We're lucky to get out of it with a win. If we want to get what we're going to get, we're going to have to get a lot better than this.
Describe the Vandals play, though, on both sides of the ball.
I give them a lot of credit. I told Tom, very classy performance by their guys, a lot of heart. We knew they'd give us a good go on offense. People were worried about them not scoring points, but they know they can move the football, and defensively they battle us too. So my hat's off to those guys.
What do you say about the other penalties that were occurring, the unnecessary roughness, those types of things to your guy? That's not typical of Boise State football team.
I'll leave that to the locker room.
Well, Huck, now you have to look forward to Oregon State, a team that was one of the ones that you guys had drawn up on the board and said, we want to get these guys. They had a tough time with New Mexico State today. How do you feel about your team entering that?
Well, we got to work out some wrinkles from this deal here. Until we do that, we can't worry about the next opponent. We got some issues here we got to solve.
Thanks, Hawk. Let's take a break. We'll come back with some players, Ted. (24-10) was the final score. With here with one of the defensive stars from today, Andy Avalos. Well, scoreboard says you only gave up 10 points. Assess how you feel you guys did today against the Vandals' offense.
I think we fought. We fought hard. We got put in some tough situations, and actually, I'm proud of the way we played. They got a couple big ones on us, but I mean, we fought back. We gave them a tough time down on the goal line. We almost held them 2 times that last time they got it in, but I'm just proud of the way the defense kept rallying back, and we did the best we could, and they put up 10 on us, but we feel that we could have held them less of that, but we'll take it. I'm happy with the way we played. We played hard today, so.
Unique situation. The defense really had to come through and pull this game out. Do you think that helps you long term?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, coming into the season, everyone knew the offense was going to take a little while to gel, and we expect to have that role, and we accept the challenge. We had the challenge today, and I think we stepped up and handled ourselves.
How do you describe this rivalry now with Idaho, Andy? You came through this with a win. You come to this dome, you get it done. Tell us how you feel about this game.
It's definitely a rivalry, and you can tell when we step on the field. Look at how many personal fouls we had today. It's obvious we don't like each other. So, maybe we're winning the series right now, and we got some big wins over them in the past, but it's definitely still a rivalry, as you can see today.
All right, thank you very much, Andy. Let's get David Michael in here. Had a huge day, my man. You've got to feel good about yourself. You got to feel good about your team. Great opportunity for you to finish out your senior year up here, just as a star of the game.
Today was a big win. Leaving here 5-0 against the Vandals. They came out and played tough. We had problems on the offense. We had to correct some things second half, but came out with the win.
Describe your feelings after the fumble, and then you had to sit down. or maybe that was part of the rotation, and then you had chance for redemption. Was that a roller coaster for you, or you were solid all the way through?
Oh, I was upset right then, and I just had to. I knew I was going to get back in there. I just had to redeem myself and make up for that mistake.
Describe the touchdown run.
The line blocked that perfect, and the receivers were downfield blocking, and all I had to do was run.
Well, that's the way it should be, right?
Yeah.
All right, congratulations, David.
Thank you.
Ted?
Thank you very much, Jeff. As you said, David Michael, 24 carries, 235 yards. Of course, the 78-yard touchdown, the big one. Donnie Heck had 33 yards. Interesting first downs, 19 and 19.
There's the Governor's Cup. Governor's Trophy presented to the Broncos. They're taking it over to the fans, showing it off a little bit.
Good group. About 700 Boise State fans made the trip down here. You see the team. As we go to the Washington Trust Bank final stats. There they are. Rushing yards. Could you believe? Rushing yards 263.
Yeah, well, the Broncos made a comeback in that fourth quarter because they were a little lopsided the other way. But they did make a comeback. They got the scores. They got it done. They got the win. As Hawk said, we got the win and we're getting out of here.
100 more total yards than Idaho because of the fourth quarter. Because they came through in the fourth quarter.
And they stopped turning the ball over. Those 2 turnovers in the third quarter killed them. But, hey, it's a win. It's a W. They're moving on.
There you have it. We'll be back with a final word from the Kimmie Dome. Stay with us. The players are celebrating a 24-10 victory.